Okay, let's have some reminders from last session. Not those are the plot spoilers.
Cock.
Yeah, I don't think we're, like, monetized for those videos I haven't uploaded yet, so you can swear.
And we
Damn,
ain't
the
gonna be.
monetization! I was gonna get rich, you hear me? Rich!
Yeah, woohoo! Of all those people wanting to watch my weird Bosnia fanfiction.
Who doesn't love Bosnia fanfiction?
What?
Who doesn't love Bosnia fanfiction?
I like how you mentioned your weird Bosnia fanfiction, but not listening to us. So clearly, we're just a vehicle for you to push your weird Bosnian fanfiction on.
I think we all know what this is, Ollie.
He tells the story, we just experience it.
Are we just whoring our mouths to you?
Oh, now I feel bad, John. I'm not even really telling us. Anyway, it's all irrelevant. So, reminders from last session. All faces have just turned to the prince. That's our beloved Ferdinand, who... Why did I never get the character sheets up in time?
Yes, my name's Ferdinand.
Are you sure?
Your best job interview voice there. The killer is right-handed. The killer is either a vampire or a vampire hunter, as they knew a lot. The killer is either a vampire or very strong. The killer probably killed Alexia's old ghouls in their sleep, or so quickly that they couldn't fight back. As Zoya and Ferdinand just came back into Elysium via the secret tunnel at the rear. Kamala is making a shadow puppet nativity. Oh, yeah! Rasvan saved the party by epically hijacking it with his family story. And Rasvan is currently on the tables covered in blood. So.
What? Blood?
Because no one was drinking the blood, and when you were dramatically telling your story, you were sort of parading up and down, kicking all of the, like, nasty diet water blood into the air. See, John said he tells the story, and now I'm nervous.
Good.
Oh, dear. So I think then probably Ferdinand and or Zoya is a good couple to start with, as it sounds like Kamala and Rasvan are kind of sorted. still going through Rasvan's epic family story, in which, in case anyone's forgotten, he started at the very beginning, which is like the 5th century. Something. What is that? 900-ish years ago, I think, somewhere around there, and sped through all 9 centuries in about 10 minutes, and then the rest of the time has been on his own personal life story.
It's because I'm brilliant.
That's just,
well,
that sounds like such a Rasvan thing.
The room seems to agree. You're at least entertaining. So, Ferdinand and Zoya, what do on your end?
Well, I don't want to cause a panic, so I don't think I'm going to tell anyone there's a vampire hunter here. Or a vampire killing others around here. I'm going to ask for Kamala, though. Kamala.
Mm-hmm.
You know, bring you over.
I'm kind of busy.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to have to, I'm afraid, steal you away for a little bit. I'm sure the story that is being told by Rasvan is entertaining enough.
So you absolutely can do that. It's worth pointing out that people will notice as he's doing all the special effects that aren't kicking blood at people.
Might have to wait until after the story.
Okay, I can wait until after the story.
No, I'm not saying you have to. I'm just letting you know, like, there is no feasible way for you to...
Assuming you want the rest of your party to go as well as it has been so far.
I'll let the story finish.
I'm just gonna stand behind Ferdinand watching it all. Like, I don't give a shit about the party. I'm just here for shenanigans.
So,
well, shenanigans are being had.
Ferdinand's mild discomfort, apparently the best thing that's happened to Zoya in about, Jesus, some decades at this point. No, it's not some decades. It's been, what was it, like 3 years, I think? When was the plague?
Would it be tasteless to add any of my illusions to the story right now?
Not at all.
So it's worth pointing out. I'm sorry.
I'm doing a shadow puppetry to take the piss out of the nativity. If you enhance it, it'll go down great.
So you are not generally supposed to use disciplines in Elysium.
Yeah, I know, but this isn't like. I thought there were kind of like exceptions for this kind of stuff.
There certainly can be.
I think you said last time.
Yeah, there certainly can be. It's like then you become part of the entertainment, really. So just, I guess, casual note that it's not something that would be default allowed, but the prince could tacitly okay it, as he's been kind of forced to do with Kamala. But yeah, you can do it.
Yeah, he definitely knew what was going on.
I give a passive thumbs up. Yeah.
Because I'm just trying to think how to make the nativity more entertaining, and I'm considering putting a hydra in there to eat everything.
Is it covered in dicks?
I mean, maybe.
I suddenly have Fortunate Son playing in my head.
Poor unfortunate soul.
Not that song. I don't know what that song is.
What?
What? Have you never seen The Little Mermaid?
Uncultured swine.
I have no defense.
Poor unfortunate soul. It's sad, but true.
Guys, we'll lose our monetization on YouTube if we keep singing this.
Hold on. Now we've gone from that into Sweeney Todd.
Yeah, he's not wrong, actually. Helena Bonham Carter has no place in a vampire thing. Question.
How dare you? She'd make an excellent vampire.
Anywhere else should be, really.
Yeah, I think you probably have trouble keeping Helena Bonham Carter out of most vampire movies. Oh.
Literally.
What are you doing in hair and makeup? Get out of here, Helena Bonham Carter. You're not on set.
You can't make me!
You're not invited. Why are you here?
Oh, dear. Stop it. Get out. Oh, dear.
I mean, honestly, Helena Bonham Carter is absolutely invited to any shindig I throw.
It'd be a very unique form of bullying, consistently inviting Helena Bonham Carter to every possible party. Cool, so what do you want to cast here then, Nikki? What discipline are we using? I mean, I'm assuming chemistry, but what power?
I guess it depends what would be the most entertaining to see.
Well, if you have a strong pitch, we could go with that. Otherwise, you can roll to come up with something cool if you like. It's obviously a bit more random, but yes.
There's a lot of mowing.
Well, the second one was Sophie.
Where in the story, currently in the story, are we?
It's a good point. I actually don't know Rasvan's life story in depth. So, Rasvan, whereabouts in your life story?
Talking about my father.
Sorry?
I thought we'd got to your birth, because that was the whole point of the nativity.
Yeah, no. So, we're talking about my birth, but my father is there.
Okay.
Okay, so that's what's happening then. They're doing the birth of Rasvan as though it were the nativity.
Okay. Which is it of my chemistry disciplines is it that gives like a single illusion that moves that you can see, smell, taste, hear?
I believe that's...
I don't remember what that...
Chimera if it's not going to move, or Chimera and then Phantasm on top of it if it's going to move.
Yeah, I think it was the Chimera and Phantasm that I wanted. And yeah, I'm just gonna... What I'd like to do, I think, is... Because this is about the most entertaining thing I've ever seen in quite some time. And I just want to make it even more entertaining. So I'm gonna use my chemistry with my Chimera and Phantasm abilities, and I'm going to create a hydra for the baby vampire. to defeat. Like, oh no, we have a vampire here, and look, straight away they're beating up hydras.
let me just check something real quick, because I want to have a look at Rasvan's sheet. Politics, cults. So there's a very good chance that Rasvan has never run into a Ravnos before. And you've only been here like a month or so, right?
Yeah.
Something like that, yeah.
So like, fair warning, you can do this, but you're potentially going to spawn a little monster next to Rasvan that he's not going to know is only an illusion.
Yeah, but it's going to be entertaining, isn't it?
I mean, this is true.
I don't think Ferdinand's going to say no to this, so...
Well, yeah, Ferdinand's a weak prince. You can do whatever you like at his Elysian. Unless it's kill a mortal.
I'm sorry, you fucking what, mate? You fucking what?
Yeah, you're getting high.
Fucking fight me, bruh.
He's... Tia, do you want to take that fight?
I don't know. Historically, Ollie's usually stomped all over my NPCs. I guess the one saving grace I have is, in this case, the only people he can kill are his servants, friends, family, allies, and neighbours.
Like
Only.
I said, there's not any of my characters before.
Oh, dear. Cool. So, Chimera, spend a willpower and a blood point to create the illusion.
Yeah! Let's go!
You get up to about 7 cubic meters per dot of chemistry, and you have many dots, I think.
5.
5 dots of
I have-
chemistry.
Mm-hmm.
5 times 7, so what is that? 35?
Yes.
Yep.
Up to 35 square meters, so you could fill much of the room, really. In fact, it's
That's
not
pretty good
35
going,
meters
actually.
Oh
tall.
no.
What
no.
size are we doing here, Nick?
Oh no.
I don't want it too big
34
because...
square meters.
Give me like in
Yeah.
animal size. Are we talking Chihuahua, large dog, cow?
Can you say Chihuahua again, please?
Chihuahua.
Wow, 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 wow.
Wah, 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 wah.
Chihuahua.
Wiki, wiki, wow, wow, west.
I'm looking for about the size of a rather large camel. Because I don't want it big, because it'll just take up the entire room. But I'm absolutely... If he's never met a Ravnos before, I'm absolutely going to scare the heck out of him.
Fair. There's probably a fair number of other people around here who actually never met Ravnos before, as they are not common. So we'll see how this goes, I guess.
Are there any other Ravnos in the party? I assume I'm not the only Ravnos here.
You are the only Ravnos here.
Oh.
It was an invitation sent out to, like, movers and shakers, and there are not that many Ravnos movers and shakers in this particular part of the world, sadly.
Oh, funny enough, they do specialise in moving and shaking.
Because they
In the
do
same
really hard
way.
for them.
Let's spice up this nativity.
I feel like you must have had some crippling experience at school that we're just kind of playing through here.
He do not like me or something.
No, I have a lot of anger issues to work out.
So, it's
But
an
not
altar,
towards me, I didn't do shit!
which means you then spend another blood point for Phantasm. And then if you'd like to give us a description of your approximately large camel-sized hydra and what it's doing.
I mean, I've only ever seen one hydra, so it's going to be basically a copy of the hydra that somebody in the party, not mentioning any names, Sophie, unleashed into the wild. And honestly, it's going to materialize behind Sophie's character, so he doesn't notice it at first. And then it's just gonna kind of come trotting around to the fore and glaring at him.
Okay. And my internet skills tell me that a camel is on average about 2 meters tall. Oh, well, that's the upper tier. So if we say a large camel's probably like add a little bit extra to that. 2.2-ish meters tall hydra monstrosity. Kind of
Sounds
seems
I just had an idea for how I could have made the party way more fun. It's alright, I'll suggest it later.
Date now.
Well, I could have just, challenged them to one-on-one combat with my elephant in the crypt down below. And just, that would have been entertaining for everyone.
Wait,
Well-
had who fight your elephant?
The members of the party, if they wanted to have a go. As a blood sport sort of style thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely
Kill your elephant.
an option. And to be fair, if you tell people that's going to happen in advance, they'll probably bring, retainers to fight it.
No, we go for the lords and ladies themselves.
So, huge underground coliseum carved out. Ah, now this is how you keep an elephant. Nelly the elephant.
Yes, and we
Train
need
the
more
birds.
rock. Guess what I'm making next in the city? Giant underground coliseum, if you haven't.
Coliseum.
Solid idea, Ewan. That's a solid idea.
I don't know if it's... I suppose you've actually already got a large number of tunnels and things.
Yeah, it's just a matter of knocking down some walls, I think.
No, that's not how... I don't think you understand the difference between buildings.
I am a coliseumologist. I'm a coliseumologist. Specifically
do you know what the
focusing on
Colosseum is
underground
currently being used for at this moment in time?
I assume flooding it and putting battleships
No, in
tiny little ship
1377, the Colosseum is used as low-income housing.
Amazing. Well, okay. Mine's not going to be low-income housing, though. It's going to be a gory elephant battle arena.
Hey, how much are rent prices on the Coliseum?
Really cheap. It's the
Is it
shitty
better
kind
than
of-
Shoreditch?
If you
No,
survive Stampede the elephant.
yeah, actually, yeah. So basically, you erect shanty towns inside it, but it's alternately been abandoned and low-income housing for most of its history. Actually, significantly longer than it was actually used for games.
Coliseum.
There was a brief period in the 1800s where it was a factory.
Now it's used for esports.
Yes.
How the turntables.
Oh my
Very
god,
good.
Sophie, you just got a cornetto.
Yeah.
I'm so incredibly envious.
Right?
Like, all of
You're
my
real
material
disgusting about
gives
it
me
earlier.
nothing. I'm so amazingly pissed off with you right now.
That's
Sorry,
your default
that's
state of
more.
thinking when it
I
comes
want
to
a
social.
cornetto. Go on, wing us a
You're
cornetto.
already in a higher tax bracket than you.
Wait, do they sell...
Oh shit, ice cream.
Babe, do cornettos exist in this country? Cool. The session's now on pause.
Is your next question going to be, hey Joe, could you go down to the corner shop real quick?
Oh dear. So, Rasvan,
Hello.
you're doing the dramatic story of your birth. There's shadow play nativity, masquerading across the walls behind you. People from your family, poorly rendered, but Kamala's going entirely off of your descriptions at this point. When you feel an almost just a slight disturbance in the air behind you. Turning around, a grandiose swing of your arm as you... How exactly are you bigging up your baby self?
I could lift.
That was a mean sucker.
Right, so you're doing like the
Could
Disney,
lift my grandpa.
Disney Hercules intro
Yeah.
sequence,
Yeah, I'm doing that, exactly.
but it's a nativity.
I'm fighting two snakes and tying them together.
Exactly. Well, I mean, probably works. Like, it's not like that intro sequence wasn't referencing a variety of legends which absolutely existed and were quite well known in this period and place. You potentially are just going...
Like chasing down villagers,
Yeah.
crawling and draining their blood,
There you go. You're You're telling the legends of Hercules through a vampiric lens, but you're Hercules, and you're a baby, and you're still kind of partially just being born, but also it's the nativity with shadows.
Right, my umbilical cord's back there, but I'm ready. Throw me in, coach.
That sentence is many degrees of horrifying.
Not going anywhere near that one. You turn around rather dramatically. You find yourself confronted with a somewhat taller than you, in fact, writhing monstrosity. This colossal lizard-like creature with multiple heads that stands on 4 legs like an angry dog, swishing its tail.
Don't dogs stand on their 4 legs non-angrily as well?
No, on 4 legs, not on its 4. Dogs stand on their hind legs anyway, Ollie. They don't do handstands when they're upset.
It'd be a lot less intimidating if they did.
Okay.
Ollie, king of the pedantics.
I wouldn't mind, but he's wrong. Cool. What do you have? What disciplines do you have, Sophie? Do you have all specs by any chance?
Yeah, good question.
I like to think I was right. Oh,
You didn't think that.
I know that. Did you?
Or
Scary.
specs. Or specs. Or specs. No.
Oh my. Ugh.
Cool.
I don't have none.
Okay. In that case, I don't think you're able to. Sorry, who's breathing
Don't
into the
you
mic?
use your mic.
Sorry.
That's alright. How are you supposed to know?
Ewan, did you die?
No, I was just double checking the
I think he
chemistry
died.
rules. So it looks like I don't think you.
I
can
mean,
easily-
how was I wrong? I'm just saying, like, that dogs tend to stand on their 4 legs.
Yeah, it looks like you can't easily see through the illusion, which means you're just confronted with a hydra out of nowhere. I'm just gonna look up the fear frenzy rolls real quick.
That's in Bosnia.
Mike, check.
Probably because they're all, the vampires are probably just feeding off the Bosnians because they're the most chilled and passive creatures in the world. I feel she maybe has little love
For Bosnia.
for Bosnia.
What?
Either that or a bunch of surfer bros.
Wait, sorry. Why are Bosnian surfer bros?
No, I was just saying. I've been talking to a lady from Croatia, and I was telling her how I played pretend vampires in 14th century Bosnia. She was just saying, it's because all the Bosnians are weak and the most chilled people in the world. So therefore, it makes sense that all the vampires are just feeding on them. She hasn't got the full context, but she doesn't need the full context.
Yeah, because that would involve you telling her what you all did to Croatia.
Or you just put a dick pipe down in Croatia, it's fine.
So, assuming that I roboted it just about the wrong bit then. Sophie, as you turn around, or Rasvan rather, finds himself confronted with a somewhat taller than him hydra. It seems slightly passive, but it does look easily capable of ripping you limb from limb. And it's already...
Foreskin?
Sorry?
With its foreskin?
God damn it. It was a regular hydra. It did not have dicks for heads.
It's pre-cum?
Oh, God.
That whole creature is a slip and slide.
So, I would say that is a frenzy check, please.
Oh no.
As it is a life-threatening situation. Conscience roll, diff 4, please.
Oh, conscience?
Oh, well, conviction, whichever you have.
Virtues.
Oh yeah, conscience. So am I rolling a D100?
No. D10s.
Oh yeah.
And it'll be 2d10.
You only have one dot.
2 dots and conscience.
Yeah, but you only rolled 1d10.
You need to roll another d10.
Each
Yeah.
dot is how many dice?
I know, I'm on it.
Made your conscience barbecue.
But
Failed.
it's a simple failure, I'm afraid.
Nikki, what have you done?
Cancelling out the one success.
Well, she's living up to her archetype.
So,
That's a
Rasvan,
failure for mine, though.
your beast takes the wheel.
Oh shit.
Jesus, take the wheel.
Blair.
Beasters take the wheel. So
Blair.
this is a fight or flight response. Do you see your beast as fightier or flightier?
Flightier.
I think most people would. So with
I'm
a
just like, holy fucking shit!
well, you lose the capacity for speech as you're frenzied, which
Oh,
means you instantly fangs out, eyes wide, all but backflip off the table and run screaming from the room.
I'm wearing a mask, but good to know.
It's very true. You are wearing a mask, but the fangs out anyway because beast.
Fangs are out.
Fangs out. Damn, I don't have body
Blair.
rhymes. Fangs out, Blair's out. No, that sounds weirdly Tony Blair.
Not a famous vampire.
Tony Blair.
Surely it'd be like dicks out, fangs out, because it's a dicktra and, just got her fangs out. Snort it.
God damn it. And then just ambiently for everyone else in the room as well. Let's do a... You know what, Ollie, it's your party. Can I get 2d10 for everyone else in the room to see how they react?
Yep.
Same difficulty.
Do I have to roll?
No, you know it's fake.
You cast it.
The rest of
If
the party...
I spend decades traveling, would I know that this is something that Zoya can do?
Yeah, you've probably even seen Zoya summon large monsters. It's kind of the thing she
Kind of my
uses
thing.
chemistry for the most. You went to India as well, which is the Ravnos heartland. Plus, you're from an area where they're slightly more common.
Cool.
Iraq, I want to say, right?
I don't remember. Let's go with sure.
Or, God, what is this in the 1300s? I have no idea. It can't be the Ottomans. No, it must be the Ottomans. So the rest of the party actually holds it together pretty... Yeah, it's the Ottomans. The rest
Right.
of the... these things are important to me. The rest of the party holds it together pretty well. Several of the guests back up, but the beast doesn't seem to be doing anything particularly, and Kamala's shadow play continues for a while. Which just leaves off to one side Zoya, to the rear of the party rather, Zoya concentrating, the hydra continuing to plod up and down the table. Ferdinand, any thoughts on this?
Ferdinand.
As the screaming Rasvan departs the room, I'm there like, yeah, this feels like old times again. And then a brainwave strikes Ferdinand. Fight the Hydra. That is the entertainment for tonight.
Vision.
Are you gonna shoot Zoya a look over that at all?
Yeah, fuck it, why not?
So
I'm just gonna give him a really big shit-eating grin.
I'm gonna mouth, no killing. So actually, having a Hydra appear in the middle of a party, I don't know if a lot of the elders are going to take that as an assassination attempt or a really cool party trick. None of them have seen a Ravnor, I suppose, right? So it could be like,
some of the older ones will have seen Ravnos. They're not like, oh my god, this mythical creature called a Ravnos. It's just they're not super common. It's like seeing a Zamisi in Britain. You might, but it's not likely. It's not where they're the most common.
where are the Ravnor from again?
India.
They're from Constantinople.
India.
India, okay.
Originally,
Right.
yeah.
So,
But my character's Greek.
Your character's Greek. You know what then? Okay, so I'm gonna do a big announcement. I'm gonna be like, all the way from Greece, I bring to you the power of the Ravnor. And then, you may fight this glorious beast.
Several of the Greek delegations kind of look around a bit. Are we a joke to you? So you're letting people challenge the beast then?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know how illusion fights work. Like,
I think we said before, because it's essentially like, it is a solid real thing, right? So you could fight it.
They believe it is, at least.
It is an illusion. So... Cool. So because it's just one of the lower ranked ones, anyone who fights it, they're gonna find that their weapons go straight through it, even if they feel the weapon hit.
Lightsaber.
Has Sophie's character left the room by this point?
Yeah, I've yeeted myself.
She's screaming off into the underground labyrinth, which she doesn't really know very well.
Watch out for the elephants.
I'm going to go ahead and say you probably have a lock on that door. I do not think that the elephant...
If you remember, we were talking about it, that there are lots of catacombs which, likely they're all boarded off, but there's nothing stopping, I suppose, a particularly determined frenzied vampire getting into or through one of the doors that stops the elephant getting out.
Yes, but a fleeing frenzied vampire tends to be path of least resistance. They won't not break down locked doors, but if they're just trying to get away and they have locked path versus unlocked path, and
okay, that's fine. But yeah, I sort of start bigging up the Ravnor, who can summon anything, all the way from the mystical land of Greece.
Can I smack Ferdinand on the back of the head and go, "It's Ravnos, you dipshit"?
Yes, you can. So, Ollie, how's that Road of Kings working out for you, bud?
What road? I'm on road rating 4 now. I can't remember which way round it is. Road rating and above?
Road
so
rating
5 and
below.
above, I can or can't do.
Road rating and below. So the way it works is you are forced to care about sins at your road rating or below. Anything above, it's still part of your faith, but / philosophy, but you aren't hard locked to it.
Okay. I don't personally see what
You don't think that maybe counts as a challenge to your honor, but I can tell you one thing it probably does count as is getting smacked in the back of the head and called a dipshit at your own international party. Probably counts for outright public humiliation, which is a friends check.
Oof.
And you're just running around trying to frenzy everybody.
Well, I hate to say that, but there's a reason why Ravnos are not necessarily the most popular things in the world.
Look, I've gone a bit off the deep end since I lost my Jatty, okay?
Can I before Zoya tries to hit me on the back of the head, can I use my celerity to grab her hands and stop that for the second time this evening?
Tell you what, you can perception to see if you see it coming. And if you see it coming, then you will say you can stop it with celerity, because it's not a super serious.
Okay. So perception over anything?
Oh yeah, no, we wouldn't just give you a flat perception, that'd be super mean. Perception, awareness. We're just going to do the awareness alertness swap again. I can't be asked, and I know we've got these characters. So alertness is Spidey sense, awareness is regular awareness, rather than the usual wad of inverse. Jesus Christ, Ollie! I was going to give you a difficulty discount, but yeah, that is a botch. So
that's a hell of a botch.
You are giving what a hell of a dramatic flourish. Everyone at the party fucking brought a hydra. And at just the moment that you bring your head back up from completely and effortlessly reclaiming control of your party, Pudunk! Zoya blindsigns you in the back of the head, calls you a dipshit, and corrects your pronunciation. That will be a conscience roll, difficulty 8.
Yeah, I didn't make that.
You're fucking cursed, man.
Yeah, I'm. Give a guess as to whether I'm fighty or flighty.
Yeah, I think. Well, see, because you don't really get the option for. Oh, I suppose you would get the option for flight. Yeah, I think you're probably more fighty than flighty here.
Oh,
so the Prince frenzies in front of all of his delegates at Elysium.
This is why no one likes the Ravnots.
Zoya, you have just about a second of pure satisfaction before there's a familiar blur in front of you. And are you more of a hisser or a roarer, Ollie?
Roarer.
And a colossal roar as an utterly frenzied Ferdinand rounds on you. Whatever you're going to do is going to be at a horrifying difficulty malice, because he's celerity to all shit. But what would you like to do? And also, sorry, Kamala, if you want to leap in at any point, do let us know. Although this would get you the prince out of your hair, potentially.
Does animalism count towards the beast?
Actually, at higher levels, it does interact with the beast somewhat, but oh wait, no, you do have 4 dots, don't you? I think there might be.
I have 4 dots of animals.
Yeah, hold sec. I think you might actually have something for this.
Amazing.
Call the wild. Song of Serenity, 3 dot animalism. This extension of animalism allows the beast to express influence over another Canaanite's beast or a mortal's very will to fight. It's on page 193 of the PDF. It'd be a manipulation intimidation or manipulation empathy, depending on whether you want to dominate Ferdinand or soothe him. Both rolls theoretically would be difficulty 7. I'd say we'd probably buff that up to a difficulty 9 because celerity. So you've got a fraction of a second for this.
Okay, I'd like to try Song of Serenity, but I'm only going to have 4 dice, so we'll see how this goes.
Well, just before you roll, there's an unfortunate bit here. This is an extended action requiring successes equal to the victim's willpower dots, which is for Ferdinand 6.
So I don't actually have enough dice.
It is an extended check, so you roll it multiple times. And you could spend willpower each time, depending on how determined you are. Failure negates all previously accumulated successes, and the vampire must start from scratch. Botch renders the victim immune to the vampire's animalism for a scene.
Oof.
Okay, well, so I have to roll 6 times.
Roll. No, you need 6 net successes, but you can roll it multiple times.
So you'll be rolling your animal ken plus whatever.
Additionally, effective use of this power allows a frenzy and Cainite an additional roll to resist frenzy, identical to their initial resistance roll.
No, I won't be rolling animal ken. That's specifically animals. You said manipulation and intimidation, or manipulation and empathy, right?
Yes, your choice. Depending on whether you want to dominate Ferdinand or soothe him.
Well, I don't have any dots in intimidation. And I have 1 dot in empathy, so I'm going to go with empathy.
So you don't have... No, not going to say that. Cool. Manipulation, empathy, difficulty 9 then. I will remind you can spend willpower.
Okay.
That is actually 1 success.
Yeah.
Now you just need to do that 5 more times. Or less.
That is another... Jesus Christ, Nikki, you are fucking playing with fire here. Net 2 successes so far. Again, if you fail even one of these rolls, it cancels out all of them. Okay, net 3 successes.
Oh!
And that is a botch.
Bugger. I'd like to run out the way we came in then.
I don't think you're gonna have
Unfortunately, for 4 extended rolls means that you're trying to Song of Serenity him as he's got his hands wrapped around your throat and thrusted you up against a wall.
Can I hit people with my illusions?
I think you can Horrid Reality, which lets you do that vaguely. So, Horrid Reality. If the victim is attempting to injure her victim, her player rolls Manipulation plus Subterfuge, difficulty of the victim's Perception plus Self-Control/Instinct, and then each success inflicts 1 level of lethal damage on the victim that cannot be soaked.
I don't want to hurt Ferdinand. I just want to get him off me.
Can I make...
I mean, at the same time, you're now technically in mortal danger.
That is actually a very valid point.
Okay, I get to frenzy check.
Life-threatening situation. Kamala, the only person in the room who hasn't run out.
Yeah, I was going to say, could I be evacuating everybody else at this point?
Yeah, I think that's perfect.
Like, seeing what's going on, I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake,
Kamala.
you fucking idiots, and just, like, trying to get everybody else out safely.
Yeah, desperately ushering people out. There's like a low-key stampede, because everyone wants to get gone before the prince does something horrifying. Just for the record, though, because he is frenzied, if you don't frenzy, you could also, like, Horrid Reality to give him something that he might actually want to flee from, e.g. a fire, another hydra, something like that. He, I think, actually does have Auspex, but he can't use it because it's not a physical discipline and he's frenzied.
Okay.
But he also does know you, so he'll probably get the roll to see through it, regardless.
While he's frenzied?
What?
While he's frenzied? Would he get the roll while he's frenzied? Okay.
Because his beast still knows you. It's like a dog knows a human. It knows you're a lie human, or not a human. It knows you're a lie vampire, a lie pyre, if you will. Right, life-threatening situation. So, do you have conscience or conviction? You have conscience. Conscience rating diff 4, please.
Diff 4? Because I was in diff 7.
Yeah, you were. Like, outright public humiliation is by far and away the most difficult frenzy roll. Let me show you the thing. There's a reason why when you make someone a Keeper of Elysium, half the time it's a poison chalice, because, like, it's really fucking difficult.
Well, I succeeded, so I don't frenzy.
You do not frenzy, but you are getting the shit choked out of you by Ferdinand, who's really just doing this to gratify himself at this point, because you don't breathe.
I was going to say, I don't breathe, so...
Yeah, which is good, because you would have choked out by now otherwise. Let's say, what is your... Ollie, can I get a strength brawl check, please?
Cool. Shall I put my potions into that as well?
I don't think so.
What is fortitude?
It gives you extra soak and gives you extra on your stamina. It's either stamina or strength. I forget which one fortitude does and which one potions does.
I'm going to say that your beast is trying to make her suffer right now. It's not trying to actively kill her. If it was trying to kill her, it would just rip her head off.
Mm-hmm.
But at the moment, it's like choking the shit out of her and slamming her against the wall.
Okay. So what was that again? Strength plus brawl?
Strength plus brawl, please.
Combat
roll, so 6.
Difficulty 6. Okay, so I'm rolling 8 dice then.
Okay.
Jesus.
That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 successes.
Oh, God. Can I at some point try and make a roll, like a willpower roll to snap out of my...
Let me have a look, because I think your just reading it now. I don't think so. I think you're basically stuck in the frenzy for a scene because there are like ways around it, but there are things that you take preemptively before the frenzy, and there is no real way you could know that it was coming.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. That's fine.
Got blindsided by the perfect bitch smack. Cool. So 6 successes, and then it's also I guess that's equivalent to just a punch attack, right?
I suppose. Yeah. I mean, I have my sword on me, but I wouldn't.
You've not drawn your sword.
No, I've not.
I did not want to just kill Nikki in session 2.
No.
I don't think she would ever talk to me again.
No, I probably wouldn't.
Kill your Jatty, then kill you. La 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 la.
Live just long enough to see them die. Oh, maybe that was too soon. I feel bad now.
You're so mean, number 2.
Oh dear. So damage rating. We'll just say the damage rating is your strength or so, probably. What is your strength? 5. Jesus. Okay, so 6 plus 5 is 11. 11 points of bashing damage. You're a vampire, so you halve it rounding down. Which is, I think, 5 points of bashing damage. Yeah.
Yeah, I have 2 fortitude, so I assume does that mean I soak 2 of that?
Sorry, you can soak with, it's only bashing, so you can soak with both your stamina and your fortitude.
Okay, so I don't actually take any damage then.
So the two of you are just like really grimly, Ferdinand desperately trying to beat the shit out of you because his beast needs to feel satisfied and in control again, but Zoya's kind of ragdolling and actually really tough to injure. So despite the fact that she's being slammed repeatedly against the wall is the thing that's chipping.
In some ways, this is the best outcome that could have happened.
As Kamala in the edge of the room just ushers the last people out.
Kamala's like...
Quietly.
Kamala is very much like, fuck's sakes. He throws a shitty party, we save the evening, and he comes back and fucks it all up immediately.
I do think this is probably canonically the worst party that has ever happened in the entirety of the Balkans.
I made it great. I don't know what you're talking about.
I did nothing wrong. I threw a morally responsible party. It's how all good parties start.
Okay. So, I think you were going to try and use horrid reality, Nikki.
Yeah, I've never used that. I'd like to try it. Why not?
Sorry, Ollie.
Never mind.
Cool, so declare the reality you want to enforce on Ferdinand, and then it's 2 willpower points.
Okay, Does it have to be horrid? Can I illusion literally anything?
Yeah, you can illusion literally anything. Like, people usually use it for horrid stuff, but what I quite like is the thing in the book, the illustration for it. Is Arabian Nights, and it's a lad on a flying carpet, which suggests to me that you could use it for the Aladdin flying carpet scene.
Because what I'm thinking is if I illusion up one of, like, the buildings that I've seen on my travels, like one of the really pretty mosques or something that I've seen kind of on my travels, and surround Ferdinand in it, his beast might get distracted by architecture.
It is a clan curse.
Fuck it, try it.
God, Jesus, what's the fucking roll to resist on that one? Is it willpower?
Presumably. It is, I think it is just a straight willpower roll.
What's the difficulty?
What would Ferdinand run from?
Probably fire. Actually, no, I've jumped through fire before.
Yeah, like, you do still have to roll for it, and also you versus your beast.
Yeah, it's true.
You are quite brave, your beast is not.
My beast is a punk-ass bitch.
Because I assume I can add in, once I've got horrid reality set up, I assume I can add to it or take away from it as I desire.
Let's take a speedy look. Player must declare a victim. Success. I don't think so. I think you would add to it by, like, adding other illusions on top of it, but I think it looks like the horrid reality is somewhat static, but it's also very all-encompassing.
You could probably just surround me with incredibly gorgeous, like, fractal designs that you see on mosques, rather than, like, the concept, I suppose, of, like, the geometric designs of a mosque, rather than a mosque itself.
It's actually a self-control roll, not willpower. And he's only got 3 self-control, but it's self-control difficulty 5.
Mm-hmm.
Well, no, it's self-control roll. You're frenzied. You would automatically fail.
Okay, so if I just horrid reality to him some really pretty architecture from a mosque that I'd seen while I was traveling.
If it is a sufficiently beautiful mosque, then yes.
Quick, look
To be fair, you went on a walking tour of the Middle East.
I did.
Iran and India.
Which has a lot of architecture that Ferdinand will have never seen before, so...
Yes. I'm not sure how many mosques there are in India in the 1300s.
touch me up, baby.
But yeah, okay, I'd like to horrid reality Ferdinand, and I'd like to create a really, really, really pretty foreign architecture around him.
You know me so well.
So, you do know Ferdinand extremely well, and you have been to Damascus, a town which you know that he is a learned crusader would know a fair bit about, but you've been to the Holy Land. He never has. And so you, spending 2 points of willpower, and luckily for you, not having to roll, take him to a foreign vista, the biggest mosque in Damascus. Oh yeah, holy shit, they've got the Great Mosque.
I'm about to get an architecture bonus so big I'm going to spend an erection point.
Which is, it's the fucking, it's the Umayyad Mosque. Saladin is buried there.
That's a pretty damn nice looking mosque.
Yeah, it's like it's colossal. It's still standing today, in fact, actually. I will put a thing in the Discord.
Yeah, I'm having a look at pictures. It's quite cool.
I mean, it's the Great Mosque.
It's surprisingly angular for what I normally consider to be mosque architecture. Apart from like the minaret and all that sort of stuff. But the actual, like, you know what? I'm kind of...
Damascus is also a very old town, and it's an old building, so it might be built into something. I'm not really sure. Someday I will read the history of that mosque. Ferdinand, like that, you snap back to yourself. But not in control. You go from living in the moment, just being a passenger in the back of your mind, with barely any sapience or consciousness or awareness of what you're doing, like you're drunk on lust and anger, to wonderment, paralyzing joy, as you stare around at these beautiful frescoes, at these wonderful wall tiles, at this amazing structure you've never seen. This visage from perhaps some distant land, perhaps some land close by, but really, who's to say? Zoya, Ferdinand's grip grows slack, and he just kind of drops you to the floor. Oh, I didn't give you the roll to see through it, Ollie. Ow.
That's fine. I went frenzied, and Auspex is a mental skill, and I would have failed automatically, right?
Yes, but supernatural things, or if you have like a good reason to believe that an illusion is an illusion, you can still get a roll to see through.
Oh, okay, cool.
Probably should have given it to Sophie, actually. Didn't think. Fuck.
What?
Zoya, what do?
I I'm going to sit on the floor and start laughing, and I'm going to laugh for about 5 minutes straight. And then I'm going to get back up, and I'm going to put my arm around Ferdinand and just kind of gesture around the room and go, pretty, isn't it?
He's kind of lost in his own haze, slightly paralyzed, perhaps lets you guide him around a little bit, but he can't stop staring in wonderment. Meanwhile, Kamala and Rasvan. Now, horrid reality is only physical to one person, but it applies to everyone. So, the two of you find yourselves underground in downtown Damascus. Rasvan, you kind of come to in downtown Damascus.
How long was I running for?
Somewhat confused. And Kamala, I imagine you can guess what's going on, and you would even recognize Damascus, as I believe it's where you met up with them. Which means you've been bumming around the town.
That is true, yes.
I thought Sophie had run off into the catacombs.
She did. The catacombs are now downtown Damascus.
Oh wow! How big is that? How big is that area? Not downtown Damascus. I assume it's the size of a downtown, but
it's not like all of downtown Damascus. But she conjured you up a big horrid reality.
Cool.
And I mean, I guess if nothing else, it would mean she could probably run through the door knowing that it's not real, whereas you'd be stuck on a wall unless there's also a door there in the mosque.
So whereabouts am I on the map?
You are still in the catacombs under Ferdinand's tower. I don't think you necessarily know that, though. You would have been controlled by your beast this whole time. You found yourself running, and then at just about the same moment that you snap back to your senses and become regain control of yourself, you find yourself teleported to some strange foreign city.
Okay, weird. Mood. Don't remember this place.
Are you still frenzied and fleeing?
No, you are. She's no longer frenzied. He's no longer.
Okay. Is he anywhere near me?
He's not. He ran off quite some time before you. You're with a confused gaggle of, confused and then increasingly less confused people go, oh, it's an illusion, and start just getting lost. Group of partygoers. They're now suffering from the fact that they can also all see the illusion, but that means they can't see the catacombs they were walking through.
Can I see through the illusion? Because I know full well this is not Damascus, because I came from Damascus.
Yes. All of you can consider yourselves to... the illusion actually only physically applies to one person, but it overlays everyone's senses. So, all of you can, walk through the walls and such. What's a good example? If you imagine that your, eyes are seeing a different space to where your body is. You are still physically in the catacombs underneath the Old Lord's Tower, but you're seeing downtown Damascus.
Is there any way to break it?
Not until Nikki lets it up, or a scene passes, I think.
Okay. I'm just gonna try and do my best to keep everybody calm and suggest that we currently camp out here for a bit until the illusion fades. It shouldn't last long. We should be safe where we are at the moment.
Yeah, one of the foreign dignitaries scoffs at you. You call this Elysium? Disciplines a frenzied prince? Pathetic blood on display? This is easily the worst party I've ever been to.
I know. I'm not even going to try at this point. I've done everything I could possibly think of to try and improve the party and save it, and there comes a point where I just despair and just try and placate everyone as best I can and be like, yeah, I know, it's kind of shitty, but...
Don't worry, it's not you, it's Zoya.
It's not you, it's the prince. It's not me, it's the prince.
Wrong.
The dignitaries sort of gather around and then mostly commiserate with you and are like, yeah, no, you tried so hard, but this has been a disaster. We came to pay fealty or respects. I feel dirty, says one right in the back. Meanwhile, Rasvan, what do? After a little bit of walking around and experimentation, you've also twigged the illusion thing, so you're seeing downtown Damascus, but your body is still under the catacombs under the Old Lord's Tower.
Okay. Fuck. I don't know, man. Like, I guess I'm gonna wander around for a bit and, like, just touch all the walls and try and figure out if I can fucking get myself back up.
Yeah, it's not long before you find a very large, very heavily padlocked door. It seems to be right in the middle of an open street, which is extremely disconcerting to you. But as you feel around, there seems to be a rather disconcertingly large amount of chains. Ollie, how public is knowledge of, what's it called? Siscorgo?
Siscorgo, right?
Yes, you have.
I think that the vampires would probably be somewhat aware that I do have one. Zoya has one. They know we're friends. I would imagine rumours have gone around of the beast in the catacombs, yeah. And some people probably have a better idea than others of what that is.
So as you're fiddling around this door, Rasvan, trying to figure out, like, is this maybe the way back up or the rear way, you hear something in the distance, on the other side of the door, a distant, strangulated, strained trumpeting, like a low murmur whispering out over the moors.
Dude.
Something heavy and wet seems to slither, perhaps in your direction, and then suddenly the doors...
Fucking elephant again, is it? God damn.
The doors pulse as something whacks up against them from the other side.
Okay, I'm just gonna be like, oh, I'm out of here.
Backtracking back the way you came, you power walk away from the horror chamber.
Yeah, like, why the fuck would I hang around?
Nikki, how...
Like, I know where the horror chamber is, because I've got taken down there, so I can kind of figure out where I am now. I'm like, oh, this is where the atrocity is.
That's fair. So as you're trying to figure out from there your way back, it's not long before you run into Kamala's party of disconcerted guests waiting for the illusion to be over. And you get a bit of a way reaction from some of them. The more staid elders simply give you a nod. Everyone's far too sober to be super happy or ecstatic, but more than a few of the younger ones congratulate you on your excellent performance and showmanship.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. You know what? That's very sweet. I'm just trying to tell you a good story, because, this party was a bit dry, right? It was a little bit dry.
Bit embarrassing about the ending, but happens to the best of us.
Mate. You're not even here. You can fuck off.
I've never seen one of those before, and I thought better to try and fight it.
Did you hear what happened with the prince?
No!
Spill the tea, girl! Spill the tea!
His concubine slapped him. He lost control and frenzied. Right there, in the middle of Elysium.
How undignified!
His concubine!
How undignified! Oh, what a poor little prince!
And so you...
He is my mentor, but I'm gonna
I
shout.
thought we were friends.
We are friends.
Who doesn't like to see their friends
got
fail
slapped!
every now and then?
Who are you?
I don't read human emotion well, but I think he might be being sarcastic right now. Gonna go out on a hairy trunk here and assume.
You're not here!
You are not here. It's very true.
You can't hear me passively aggressively insulting you.
No, but I can feel it.
No, you can't. Or you can feel a Zoya's throat.
I'll...
Sounds such a charge. So
Also, I just been wandering around your fucking catacombs, and your dumbass elephant was going. I'm not best pleased with you right now.
When Sophie gets so mad that you can hear her coming through John's mic as well. Oh.
Yeah, it happens sometimes.
Oh yeah, no, I found it funny. So Zoya, you've walked Ferdinand through what limited amount of Damascus you can in the confines of his admittedly rather large underground dining chamber, I guess. And he seems to be just about coming out of it as you feel the illusion fade around you. Ferdinand, and to a lesser extent Zoya, what do?
I let the docile look slip off my face, and my gaze hardens as I turn towards Zoya.
I'm just gonna give him a flat look and say, it's not my fault you got my clan name wrong. You should know what it is by now.
Do not mistake my temporary forgetfulness. Do not think that my temporary forgetfulness of your clan name will make me forget what you did here tonight.
Oh, come on, I livened everything up. It was great! Did you see the wall run?
You've destroyed my Elysium, my respect. I'm sure they're all out there, having just chatting shit about me.
I hate to break it to you, Ferdinand, but they already were. I was in the back, trust me.
And with that, like, you just crushed an unbeating part of, of Ferdinand's heart there. Just a small part. He's still going to be the bigger man. He's not going to, let the vampires go wild on his city to gain some face or anything like that. But just a little tiny part that Ferdinand didn't think could die anymore, just did.
Oof. Betrayal. Fighting with all his old friends is Ferdinand. He's only ever tried to be a good guy, and what has it got him?
They're all cunts.
Face full of humiliation. or yeah, that. Either way.
Look,
The
you'd
vampires
be a dick too if
enjoying
you
their
lost all
undeath
your
to its
family.
Yeah, okay, I'm going to go out, find the nobles. And, I'm going to ask Kamala to invite them in one by one.
Oh, you don't even know where I am.
Yeah, let's go see. That's fine. So that's his plan. He needs to go find you and then have that happen. So let's zoom over to the other party then. The illusion has faded around you. Kamala and Rasvan. Rasvan, your frenzy seems to have been totally eclipsed by the prince's frenzy. Fortunately for you.
Yay.
And yeah, people are busy gossiping, all sort of centered around you, and trying to pump you for information on the prince, really.
I'm feeling very flattered.
Kamala. Well, actually, that's a very good point. Let's take a... From yourself, Rasvan, let's take a... I'm going to say manipulation... etiquette, maybe? Yeah, manipulation, etiquette, difficulty 7, to see if they get anything else embarrassing out of you.
Come on.
Oh no, that's a botch.
No, they do.
Ollie, would you like to donate an embarrassing fact for Rasvan to spill? Give a little bit of control back. I didn't think you'd botch.
You didn't think Sophie was going to botch a roll?
No, in
The hell?
retrospect.
You've not played with me.
No, I'll let Sophie make one up.
So, Sophie, do you have any embarrassing secrets you'd desperately like to spill about Ferdinand? Otherwise, we're probably going to do the elephant.
I heard that he really likes having his toes sucked.
Okay, so a distinct fetish. whether true or not.
It's going to get real confusing when people start trying to suck my toes at some point. In the
They're
future.
coming in sandals and showing their toesies.
I unfortunately think that probably is a botch-worthy secret, because that would be sort of openly engaging in mortal-style sex, which again is something of a, at least amongst elders, it's frowned upon. It's not so.
Luckily, I'm younger.
Sorry?
Or
Yes,
a
Regular sex. He likes the toe sucking.
And frankly, it doesn't mean that people aren't doing it, but acting like a mortal and getting all, bleeding heart over protecting them and such, it's kind of building a picture of a prince who's ashamed to be a vampire.
Fucking throw them into the fucking sword.
I will
I
direct
heard
you...
this. I heard all about this.
I didn't, the reason why I didn't suggest the elephant was because I don't think that's a shameful secret. I fucking love that elephant.
Why do you think he likes that elephant so much? It's got big long trunks to suck his toesies.
Okay, I direct you to the Bazcat picture.
Worthy secret.
Oh dear. So
God,
Kamala.
you're going to lose the city before the end of the third fucking session.
Investigation for this mystery hasn't even started, and the fucking town's on fire.
I mean, the mortals are doing pretty alright. They have a fairly benevolent prince, There's a lot fewer murders than there might be for a World of Darkness town filled with vampires.
Yeah.
I got that going for me, which is nice.
Yeah, I mean, according to his own ethical code, he's doing pretty well.
I also famously do not give much of a shit about what any of the other vampires really say about me.
Exactly.
Considering I've run a town this way for a long time.
And that is how you end up alone, friendless, surrounded by people who want to kill you.
But
He has the moral high ground. So Kamala, the illusion has faded. Rasvan's enjoyably giggling with a load of... In fact, you know what, Rasvan? Do you want to... Where's your fucking thing? Didn't I give you a... I'm vaguely tempted to say you can have another dot of status. But fair warning, I do think that you're progressing towards maybe losing your dot of mentor for Ferdinand.
Oh no!
We're not going to remove it this time, but one more serious betrayal. I don't know, man. He took you in knowing full well you were a spy and tried to be nice to you and you were friends for centuries, and then the first time he has a big party, really needs you on side, and you dig him over at every possible turn.
He was helping his party!
You gotta remember, Ferdinand likes humans. That doesn't necessarily, and he'll protect them, and he won't eat them. That doesn't necessarily extend to vampires.
I just thought you were having a kind of a crummy party, so I was trying to help out, and then, you fucking got Hydra out and didn't tell me. That was rude.
So Kamala, where are you taking these guests?
I think I'll just have them all safely escorted back to wherever it is they're staying.
Yeah, that's fair. So you can sort of take them up to the Old Lord's Tower and then...
Because it just seems safest and the best thing now to just kind of send them all home and apologise as much as I can and try and make sure that they know that I did everything that I could to try and save the party and make it good. And Rasvan was very helpful with that, and we appreciate his assistance greatly.
I think that's totally fair. Between you and Rasvan, you've both successfully laid the entire blame for this at Ferdinand's door, which is... It wasn't totally his fault. People would have been really... It's fine. For the record...
I mean, at least 80% was his fault. At least 80%.
But it was the final 20% that brought it up into crit fail territory.
Yeah, but he was the one that then crit failed, so...
I can't help it if I'm botching.
It's also not exactly Rasvan's fault that he was terrified of a giant hydra illusion that he wasn't expecting.
That was not
really?
a giant hydra illusion.
Who brings a hydra to a party?
Who doesn't?
I like how you managed to make two vampires rage in two different ways. The hydra wasn't the way I raged. You then did a second one with an entirely different method.
He's just out here as an agent of chaos right now.
Yeah. I mean, before I had my daddy to protect. Now it's just me and my nominal. So I'm embracing my trolling side right now.
The worst bit is, right, like, arguably you could have gone, well, it's not my fault, she's a criminal, she used the discipline in Elysium, that was not supposed to happen. But the last thing that you said before she smacked you in the back of the head was, no, this is totally okay.
It is what it is.
I've got such big
To be
feelings
fair,
now,
I
I'm so
actually
sorry.
didn't realize that smacking him on the back of the head would,
You didn't
like,
realise
be
there was
perceived
sick,
like that, so...
a sick burn in that context in front of it. So,
I was trying to do it a little more subtly than that, but...
I will point you back to the reminder from the start of the session where all eyes had turned to the prince. So, Kamala, you see the guests up to the Old Lord's tower, and then in sort of safe-ish ones and twos, mindful of the silence of the blood, you watch them out, or let them out of the gates, the grounds, and on into the city to go back to their assorted accommodations. You've lost maybe half of them, as it's fair to not have everyone flood out at once. There's not that many people travelling the streets this late.
Oh yeah, we'll do it carefully and make sure that everything is maintained as best it should be.
Exactly.
Follow the rules properly. Make sure that, although Elysium was a bit of a shit show tonight, everyone knows that everything is being done as by the book as I can make sure it is.
I think that's pretty fair. The normality and routine is definitely helpful.
This may be his town, but I'm running it, and they know that by now. I'm sorry, are you here?
Well, actually,
Or were you the one that just frenzied?
was going to say, you've got about half of them out when Ferdinand, with Zoya still trailing, I suspect, arrives looking for you. You're in the Great Hall of the Old Lord's Tower on the ground level. Ground level. So it's not like super big, but it's big enough. You wouldn't want to host people in here, but yeah. Ferdinand, you can see that most of your party guests have already gone, just about most. It's slightly over half of them. Most of the major ones, definitely. You're left with the most minor ones, the ones who they're from like local townships and such, or areas not too far away, or otherwise less important princes. Though I guess we've also got, was it? God, your man, the Prince of Split?
Midas?
No, not Maidus. The lad who you left alive last time.
Oh, something the crow.
Croat.
Was it him?
But
Yeah.
yeah, I'm not saying on it. Was it Leo?
Might have been, actually.
Yeah, Leo the Croat. There we go.
Yeah, I think it was Leo.
So you've got Leo the Croat still there, looking actually a little bit content for once. What do?
Wait, content or contempt?
Content. He's developed a healthy hatred for at least some of you, and so this was very cathartic for him.
That's fair. He doesn't hate me, does he?
I mean, vaguely as the lapdog of Ferdinand, yeah. Ferdinand, what do? And or Kamala, what do? Kamala, your errant lord, has just arrived, and Ferdinand, your guests have mostly been dismissed.
That's fine. Part of me just wants to go and visit the lords individually and bring a human along and just try and make amends that way. And explain it was the dirty other clan that did it. I don't even fucking know.
That is absolutely okay. You can just sort of like find a strategically large chair to collapse in and eye people warily as they head out. If nothing else,
No,
the
I don't wanna
shit-talking
do that.
stops as soon as you get in the room.
How many people are there?
Maybe a couple of dozen at this point. Most of them would be ghouls and other retainers, but there's still a few vampires, including Leo, like I say.
Okay. I can't think of the words off the top of my head, so I'm just going to try and, I don't know, roll for it instead. But the general gist of I want to come off as not weak, but apologetic. Apologetic, but not weak, I suppose.
Okay.
You know, saving what little face I can.
I'll have a look at your stats. What were you going to say, Nikki?
I keep forgetting, so I'm sorry, Sophie, I keep forgetting your character's name.
Rasvan!
Rasvan, thank you. Is Rasvan there?
Yes. He's surrounded by a gaggle of younger vampires, we'll say a delegation from Serbia, who are still quietly giggling with him off in the corner.
Okay. I'm gonna go up to Rasvan, and, I'm going to quietly I guess only the delegation really can hear me. I'm going to apologize to him for this scare. I was trying to give him something to fight as a baby, and I didn't think he would have quite that reaction.
What do you mean? Oh. I don't understand what you're saying. I'm like, there was a hydra there. It's not your fault.
I'm gonna say it sort of was.
How was it your fault?
It wasn't an actual hydra. It was an illusion.
Well, I feel very stupid.
Would you say publicly humiliate? No.
Not even.
Everybody gets one.
I've had the frenzy tonight. I don't want to go on Mr. Bones' wild ride.
Entertaining as it would be to watch you also try and fail.
And then Ferdinand starts telling people about your toe-sucking fetish. She frenzied.
Yeah, Ferdinand, you'll just about be realizing that that's a thing that's gone public now, as people make sort of gestures at you, or suck their thumbs or the edges of their fingers when they think you're not looking.
Oh, they're doing that, are they?
They're just people trying to be, like, there's no, like, massive digs, but you can clearly see that people are doing something.
I snap their fingers. If
Yeah.
I see that, I snap their fingers.
Okay, would you like to do that before or after your speech apologising?
In the background, Kamala just fucking face palms so hard and just like,
You have a very tired
sighs with absolute defeat, and it's just like, fuck it, I give up.
You have a very tired vampire who's just had a hell of a night.
Come
And
the
you didn't
morning,
know
Kamala's
about
just going to walk straight into the sunlight and just be like, I'm fucking done.
No, I'm going to make the speech, and then if I notice anyone doing that, I'm not going to snap their fingers. I'm just going to grab their fingers very tightly and look them dead in the eye and ask them if they really want to do that again.
Yeah, I don't think you're absolutely acting out of turn to snap their
But
fingers.
do you know what they're even doing? Or what they're even referencing? Because you weren't around when they were told this.
No, I did say to him that he wouldn't necessarily have twigged that it's, they know about the toe-sucking thing, but they're clearly aware of something. And like, when you can tell that people are making fun of you, but you're not sure why? So he's at that stage. But we'll do the speech first then. Cool, I think that's probably going to be charisma. Sounds like charisma expression. It is going to be pretty difficult, so I'm going to say difficulty 8.
Okay, charisma over expression. Can I use my presence or my influence to bump that up?
Not influence. You can use presence on a room. It's probably bad form, though.
Yeah. Okay. I thought presence had a base effect. It just does You don't have to roll it, you just get like a bonus out of it.
No, that's the physical disciplines do that. So celerity, and fortitude,
Okay.
but most of the others don't tend to just add.
Okay, that's 6d10 then. Yeah, I make it.
Yeah, Jesus, 3 successes as well. So you sort of launch into a speech about how it was a misunderstanding. You apologize for the issue, but this is the reality of living with the beast, and it will not happen again. With a sort of tacit threat vaguely shot out at various people around the room, almost at random, including, we'll say, Zoya, just so everyone sees it. No one's quite sure exactly what you mean by that, but sometimes the best threats are random. And overall, the message seems to go down well with the crowd of younger delegates.
I tell them to spread the message to their sires or to their lords and ladies.
And you do catch one young vampire still doing that at you as you walk past. You don't see them do it, but you hear the sound.
My hand snaps out faster than the blink of an eye. Fingers, entire, presumably fairly meaty hands, wrapping entirely around the hand of the vampire that just did that, and squeezing until I can hear the bones creaking.
Okay, yeah, let's take an intimidation.
Yep.
Strength, intimidation, difficulty 5, please.
Do I get fortitude for that?
No.
Potence?
You can use potence if you want. It is.
No, I don't want. What was it again?
It was strength, intimidation.
Cool. 7d10.
Difficulty 5. That's 1, 2, 1, 2 successes.
Mm-hmm.
As described, your hand, lightning fast, just grabs out. You enclose the disrespectful Canaanite's fist in your own meaty slab, and then just crush down and down and down until the bones begin to creak and they start to stammer out a half-murmured apology. And do you keep going or pull back?
I tell them louder.
I'm sorry, my Fitz. I didn't mean anything by it.
I let go.
Okay. The rest of the guests filter quietly out, leaving, I guess, Rasvan, as he's vaguely a courtier of yours, Ferdinand, obviously, Kamala, looking thoroughly exhausted, and Zoya. What to do?
So, tell me how you did that. That was incredible. I really believed it was that.
I'm gonna start laughing again, and I'm just gonna say it's one of my clan disciplines.
Because at this point, I slumped down into a chair, exhausted.
I've never met a Rasvan before.
Ravnos.
Ravnos.
You're Rasvan.
I'm a Rasvan. I've met a Rasvan. A Ravnos, though, I haven't met. Sorry, I'm very tired.
That's fair.
I'm kind of gonna. I'll say. I didn't think it would cause quite as much chaos as it did. I thought it would be even more epic if straight after your birth you were fighting this giant hydra. And I didn't think about the fact that you've never seen a hydra before.
No, never seen a hydra. This is like the first time I've actually... No, I mean, I've been places before, so, you know.
Yeah.
Anyway, shall we see how the prince is?
He's currently slumped down in a chair, looking thoroughly exhausted, with presumably his seneschal staring daggers at him from across the room, where she's been showing people out of the door.
Yeah, a little bit. Kamala's pretty pissed off in general. Like, she's trying to keep it together and trying to still do her job, but she's generally really pissed off with pretty much everybody at this point.
Would you say you're being harassed?
No, I'm definitely not being harassed. Like, no one is harassing me.
Now you're just looking for excuses to get people to frenzy.
It's a fun rule.
Yeah, I'm just trying to maintain my calm exposure.
Okay. In that case,
Like, kind of telling myself, we saved the evening. It's not as bad as it seems. We had a great party while he was out. It was great fun. Everybody else enjoyed themselves right up until that last moment, but we managed to save that too. Kind of. It mostly came out alright. It'll be fine, I'm sure.
okay. And at that, you see Zoya and Rasvan go over to the slumped form of Ferdinand, who's like just laid down in a chair, 1 foot draped up on the sort of big medieval dining hall table in front of him, one arm lazily flexed over the chair, the other one casually just cradling half his face.
She thinks about telling off Zoya, but then thinks, there's no point whatsoever.
You've also travelled with Zoya enough to know that there's a risk she may not take the telling off well.
Yeah, exactly that. She knows what Zoya's like. She knows that, like, she probably didn't do it maliciously. She probably just thought it would be fun and mischievous and didn't really think everything through, but fuck it.
Just a prank, bro, Zoya.
Yeah. I mean, potentially the one person she's not going to be really pissed at is Rasvan, because he probably didn't mean to frenzy and run away, because he probably was scared by the hydra, so she might make sure he's okay. And then make sure that he is fully aware that Zoya can do illusions and not to trust everything that he sees.
Yes, I'm aware of this now.
Especially if it comes out of absolutely nowhere.
So we'll say you've joined the other three of them over next to the table. Ferdinand still dramatically slumped in peak Toreador, I am humiliate pose.
Praise how you plucked that image from my mind.
Conversation gets a little awkward, Kamala warning Rasvan about Zoya, Rasvan then gushing about Zoya's illusory abilities, because really it seems Rasvan's core motivation in life is to become an actor.
I would like to thank. I want to thank Kamala for keeping the party going when it was clearly failing, and shepherding everyone out. Like, not going to let that go unappreciated. All the hard work you did there in the party.
Gladly accept the praise.
And I think you've still got a week before Christmas, right? Yeah, and the coronation's going to be on Christmas. So, theoretically, people are still in town for a while. You can pull this back. I didn't intend for us to do 2 parties, but if you want, the option is there. If you think it would go better.
Before I suggest that, because honestly, knowing his rules, I'm not going to suggest another party whatsoever. I think it would be a dumb idea. What I am going to ask is what happened with the investigation.
Did we tell you that? Oh, no, we did tell you, didn't we?
No, because you got back, tried to talk to me, but I was busy doing shadow puppetry, and then Zoya did illusions, and then everything else happened.
Yeah, so I guess...
So technically the 2 of us don't actually know what happened at the house.
I couldn't remember I knew you didn't know what happened at the house, but I know that... Oh, I think I just told you just to keep the party going, actually, when I left last time. Yeah, I guess, so after, cradling my head on my arm, there's one more thing.
One more thing.
And explain the scene and the various conclusions we came to at this house.
So, Rasvan, then, presumably the thing that perhaps interrupts your entertained reverie at this idea of illusory magic being a thing that you could maybe learn to do if you butter up Zoya enough, is the phrase vampire hunters, or vampire hunter.
Oh, sugar.
It's serious. Yeah.
I have never heard of a vampire hunter. People hunt vampires?
I imagine the three of us all turn to you.
What?
You sweet summer child. Oh, you sweet summer childer.
It would still be child because she's singular, but I do like the joke. It's child with an E.
Yeah, so, yeah. I guess we have to explain to you that some humans don't like vampires very much.
Why not?
Been living in the same town as the local Inquisition base for like 40 years.
I've not been paying any attention to that.
Oh yeah, no, it's pretty fair, but they're actually pretty justified on the sweet summer childing, you know?
The funny part is...
street cleaners having a drag race.
Sorry, Ollie?
No. I do like how we managed to get away with having the Inquisition live in our town for so long. We became a de facto base when they were hunting all this mystical bullshit. It's like, we're Andy on noses. Didn't they ever think it was weird that the Prince of the City only ever came out at night?
You're just eccentric.
I think you've had, like, mortal toadies, basically.
Yeah, I remember rightly. I had to roll for a little bit or something. So
yeah. And, like, most of your shit's underground, really. All of your suspicious stuff. It's safer, anyway. So, yeah, what do with the rest of the night? It's starting to get towards the early hours of the morning, I would think, but it is also deep winter. So
I would like to discuss with Kamala as to how to salvage this situation. And additionally, maybe all of us put real heavy stones over our coffins tonight. Or ask someone else to do it, I suppose. Even though the last coffin was broken open, the stone top was clearly snapped in half.
Yeah, I mean, you and Kamala sleep here, don't you? So you're probably pretty heavily protected. I think... Does Zoya... no, Zoya doesn't have.
I sleep out in the forest.
Yes.
With my elephant and my wolves and all my rattuses.
So Zoya has some level of actually pretty intense protection, to be honest. How over-leveled are those wolves at this point?
Pretty over-leveled.
They all use the milkmaid protocol times 3.
Which means, as you're all talking about, safety and precautions and things, all eyes, I think, probably eventually turn to Rasvan, who I think I had living out in the foreign quarter, which is exactly where a visiting witch hunter would stay.
Politely request that I do not stay there tonight, and I could...
Yeah, I was going to suggest we invite him to stay with us in a safer location.
I do a little rumble of,
Why,
started that rumour?
Is it just sleeping that gets your willpower back?
Yes, you recover 1 willpower point every night. Or every evening when you rise, technically.
Cool, okay.
Wasn't it also doing
also,
something that matches your... Is it demeanor or nature?
Nature.
Okay, there.
What is my nature? I don't know what my nature is.
Let's have a look, Nikki. You are almost certainly a trickster, I suspect. But sorry, it's probably in the primary, I think. Nature celebrant. Brackets rats.
That's right, yeah.
makes sense.
See, so nature and demeanor.
Celebrant takes joy in her cause and indulges in her chosen passion as deeply as possible. She pursues it out of enthusiasm, not duty.
Regain a point of willpower whenever you pursue your cause or convert another character to the same passion.
I'm an autocrat. Regain a point of willpower when you exercise control over a group or organization.
Oh, yeah, that's alright, John. Regain a point of willpower if you didn't have any...
I've not spent any, but, I'm pretty sure over the past party, That's worth at least 3.
Yeah.
It's a shame my party crashing doesn't count, because if it was going off my demeanor, then I absolutely would have got a willpower back.
Oh dear. Bon vivant for Ollie would be regain a point of willpower when you truly enjoy yourself.
He definitely hasn't enjoyed himself once this entire evening.
If we hadn't just been kicking on you constantly this session, Ollie, I'd be so because this is like your anti-nature. So the temptation is, well, you should lose a point of willpower. But no, you've taken so many blows in such good nature this session, that would be so mean. Oh no, that's Rasvan I was looking at. Are you a bon vivant as well? Oh yeah, you are a bon vivant. Well, did Rasvan enjoy himself?
Oh, he did.
Well,
Right up until the hydra.
I got spooked.
You've got full willpower anyway. Fair. Okay, so Rasvan.
I think he enjoyed that post spook though, didn't he? Because it went from holy shit a hydra to holy shit a hydra.
Yeah.
Delightfully naive. It's Rasvan.
I was just hype, alright?
Okay, so then you're going to make your sleeping arrangements, which means Zoya going back out to presumably a cave in the forest somewhere.
Yeah. I'd like to do a quick feed before I go back out into the forest, just to regain my 2 blood points.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna go smother myself in my rats before I go to sleep.
How do you keep the daylight out? Well, I sleep underground. Well, I have a coffin. I have ghouls to protect me. Big fuck off rocks, mate. A blanket of rats.
Do you reckon you could wear a blanket, just convince them all to bite each other's tails or something, and have a flowing cape of ratus?
I don't know if you've ever seen Rat Kings, Ollie, but
I have, yeah. That would be a hat, though, surely.
Depends how many rats you know together.
I've already worn rats as a hat, and they tend to wiggle quite a lot. So
Snakes do the same.
Cool. I think that's probably going to be. We'll call it Perception Brawl, Nikki, and I'm going to say difficulty 7 because it's quite late at night, so there might be a few places still open with the coronation coming up, but need to search around a bit to find someone isolated.
I'm pretty sure I gave Nikki permission to feed off my my personal collection, which is the upper nobles who are asleep in the tower, or in a tower.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'd already given Nikki permission. I know me and Kamala drink from them.
Mm-hmm.
How many points of herd do you have?
I don't know if you ever actually gave me points of herd. Theoretically, I have the entire city, but...
No, so...
herd, high nobility 2.
High nobility 2, cool. So that's 2 vessels, I think. So you probably only really have enough for you and Kamala.
I have my own herd.
Oh, fair.
Yeah,
that's right.
He gifted me the minor nobility as well.
Yeah,
and I've got 2 points in that.
Yeah.
But it's also worth pointing out, Ollie, that herd isn't just people you can legally feed from. Herd is also people you can safely feed from without needing to make a roll under ordinary circumstances. So it's assumed that you have a lie set up, or they already know, or something along those lines.
Like my Jati, they already knew I was a vampire. So
exactly. God, where's the fucking stuff, Ollie? Why are you doing this to me?
Backgrounds. Maybe.
Helpful. You bastard. I'm scrolling towards it now. I thought I was scrolling towards it, but alas, I was... Oh wait, no, it is under backgrounds. Yeah, that was actually quite helpful. Fuck. 2 dots is 7 vessels. So, yeah, no, you can offer Nikki a drink from one of the mortal family who supposedly ruled the town before the king moved in.
Yeah, that's fine, I'll do that.
Cool, in that case, Nikki, you may restore 2 blood points for free.
yay!
Tasty noble blood.
Everybody gets one.
Num num num.
I'm sure Ferdinand is in no way trying to make sure you don't just stomp on his no killing people rules.
Mm-hmm. Weirdly, I think it would be Zoya I'd trust the most not to kill any of my flock. She didn't kill her Jati. She was very careful when she drank from them.
Oh yeah, I think she's actually supposed not to, isn't she, for her...
Well, I'm not supposed to, but I wouldn't anyway. I'm not supposed to kill people unlike my sire. I'm not supposed to kill people just for shits and giggles.
I think I would feel
for the record, it actually only applies to mortals. You can kill vampires all day.
Yeah, but I mean, like, those that I feed from, I don't kill indiscriminately. I shouldn't even kill accidentally. Like, when I feed, I don't think I shouldn't kill them when I feed. Because that's like a lack of control.
No, definitely. In fact, it's killing a mortal for any reason other than survival.
Yeah.
But there is also like a higher level sin for killing a mortal for sustenance, even for survival. So yeah, it's absolutely a thing. So yeah, fair. Trusting Zoya the most does make sense on that one. Is there anything else you'll want to get done tonight as Zoya heads off to the forest? And any plans you want to make for tomorrow evening when you wake up as well?
You say taking all these blows in good faith, and I've just seen the one you posted in Discord.
Well, no, that wasn't me saying, but that's the face that I imagine them pulling. Especially when Rasvan swags on in and tells them, yeah, no, and he's embarrassingly fetishistic as well. I've been working on my Sophie impression recently.
Very good.
Thank you.
Keep going. One day.
One day you're going to wake up with chopped off toes put in your mouth. You have no idea why they're there.
Oh no.
I doubt that will be my first concern in that scenario.
John!
What are you doing here? Sorry. So, yes, any notes you want for tomorrow evening?
I guess try and start a little more into the investigation of who killed those people.
Yeah, fair. So we're just going to have, you go back to the tower, I guess, tomorrow and meet up with everyone. Cool. In that case, you all collapse into a fitful sleep for the evening. I don't think anyone has any particularly dramatic dreams. We don't have any character flaws for that, do we? Oops.
No, I don't think so. I think the last time anyone had any fitful sleep was when that Crossroads demon was was after me.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, I've forgotten about that. I'm absolutely.
I didn't.
How much of a
You
dot?
murdered 3 of my jatty.
How many dots of flaw was that? Do you remember?
The demon?
It wasn't a flaw. It was because douchebag what's-his-face that we finished off at the end of last campaign sent it after me.
Yeah, sick to demon on you. Yeah, fucking infernalists, man.
Yeah, it wasn't a flaw, it was just somebody sick to demon on me.
Who would even like... Oh yeah, because they were really gruesome murders. That was a driving plot point. How the fuck did I forget that?
I don't know, because I certainly remember it.
Oh. Dear. So yeah, you all collapse into a fitful but ultimately dreamless sleep for the evening. Rising the next night... for the day, rather. Rising the next evening, if you'd all like to lose a blood point and gain a willpower point.
Yay!
Does anyone have any feeding preferences for the evening, or are you going to go straight to it?
No, I'll just go straight to it. I'm fine.
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah.
Cool. Which means... Zoya, you return to the Old Lord's Tower to find Ferdinand and Kamala, and I suppose Rasvan, as he's here, and...
Yeah, I'll share my herd with Rasvan. I've got 2 points in it.
Oh, lovely.
That should be enough for both of us. It means that he can feed safely and he can stay safely with us.
Lucius, thank you.
I think your herd's out in the whatchamacallit, the old...
Oh yeah, there's a minor nobility all the way out there.
Yeah.
Oh well, never mind then.
That's fine, it's only 1 blood point, you can eat later. So, I'm guessing you have a study or something, Ollie, or do you picture yourself as more of a war room type of a guy?
Honestly, I suppose I picture myself more as a large... It'd be a mash of the two, I suppose. That's a nice study room that has a big old table in it. It's pretty big and wood panelled and all that good shit.
Strewn with exotic books, maps, and, of course, your favourite bestiary. In fact, I think you had a number of bestiaries, didn't you?
Yeah, I think I did.
Yeah,
actually.
you bought loads to get size comparisons.
Yeah, I think
All over.
I have, my background is now bestiary 1. So I've got enough to be able to be like, and the one drawing of the elephant I was originally given, which made me decide to scale, I sort of tried to redraw over the top of it what it actually is.
Aww. Beautiful. Okay.
Yeah, so it was kind of a large study / war room style thing.
Excellent. With a big table in the middle, strewn with bestiaries, bookcases stacked with scrolls, vellum, that type of thing. Zoya, you're shown in by one of Ferdinand's retainers, who gives you a slightly look, as you're very clearly a wandering beggar. Your just generally homeless-looking aesthetic as you woke up in a cave this morning. And smell vaguely of rat urine, I guess.
Delightful.
They do pee everywhere.
But,
They do. They're very good at peeing on literally everything. It's great.
how does this evening find the rest of you?
Alright.
Fair.
I'm gonna thumb through those bestiary books.
You find a note in one of the columns. How to feed an elephant. Blood.
Fascinating.
I would suggest I'd probably be talking with Ferdinand either about what we're going to do about the killer or what we're going to do about rebuilding his positive reputation with the rest of the vampires in the area.
Yeah.
Either or.
Okay.
Whichever we feel is most pressing, I guess.
Well, let's say that's at the prince's feet. Which is more pressing, the murderer or your imminent coup?
I'm going to suggest it would be the murderer.
Yeah,
Well, I mean,
Because the coup poses a threat to you, but the murderer poses a threat to all of us.
but at the same time, the coup poses a threat to me, whereas the vampire murderer poses a threat to everyone. So really, that's not a problem half. That's a problem, split into many hundreds of tiny pieces.
Arguably, a vampire murderer probably posits the least threat to you compared to a coup.
I'm also going to point out to him that if he's quite happy to kill, then he might well just kill all the humans as well, and then we wouldn't have anything to feed on. Or if vampires are getting killed here, we're not going to find more vampires to settle and rule over, or might come under threat of breaking the masquerade, and therefore we'd be in a lot more trouble from some much elder vampires who, while you are very powerful, they are probably much more powerful.
The masquerade hasn't been founded yet, I'm afraid.
Oh, well.
You still predate the Camarilla, so it's just the silence of the blood at this point.
Yeah, it's not actually too far away, though. I think we're about 40 years away?
Yeah, the Anarch Revolt's gonna, hit full swing in a couple of years, and then you're right in the middle of Diablerist territory. Diablerist? So that'll be fun. But
we don't want to reveal ourselves or reveal any issues, so we'd rather maintain a strong facade and all that, so we need to deal with the murder as quickly as possible.
So this is the conversation you come in on then, Zoya. Is Ferdinand kind of talking up the coup, though, and Kamala trying to argue for the murderer, as Rasvan seems to just be a little bit sleepy in the corner. What do, folks? The prince seems to be mulling his options over.
I'm pushing for a deal with the murderer.
I'm gonna go over to Rasvan and I'm gonna see what he's looking at and see what he's reading and see what kind of Ferdinand's been doing with his bestiaries and what have you. But I'm also gonna voice my support for going after the murderer alongside Kamala.
Rasvan is currently looking at an illustration of a Yale, which is a sort of cow-like beast with flexible horns. So if you imagine like prehensile, flaccid goat horns.
Fascinating.
A horrifying sentence.
Truly fascinating.
There's a picture in the Discord.
Oh, I'm also going to point out to Ferdinand that if we do manage to deal with the murderer quickly, we can use that as a way to improve his reputation, because we can exaggerate how dangerous it actually was,
Yeah,
and
okay.
how effectively we dealt with it.
That's swung me over, because I'm not going to lie, a large part of Ferdinand's just thinking, you're just using this coup to, they're going to let stew and let these people grow resentment and think I'm a weak and petty ruler who has no business ruling the town, and you can swoop in and save the day. But if you're with me all the time whilst we're solving this murder.
Okay. So the conversation seems to have swung decidedly towards solving the murder, finding the murderer.
What I will say is we'll put a limit on it for one evening. We're going to try and investigate as much as we can this evening. Day after, we're going to call back. I will also say, have everyone who's in town get ready to reconvene at the tower in 2 days' time. So not tonight, but in a day's time. Sorry, so not tonight, but night after.
As in for another party?
I'm going to hastily advise against another party, and also try and advise that one evening might not be enough time to deal with this issue. You need to give us more than this in case we cannot deal with it that quickly. We have no information on what we're looking for, where we're looking for it, or what we need to do to deal with it.
You're
The issue is I don't know
expecting the guests to leave after the coronation, by the way, so you've got 6 days left with all of them still in town.
Okay, I just don't want anyone to really leave, or most people I don't want to leave. As long as most are staying, that's fine then.
Yeah, they'll be here until the coronation, which is 6 days from now.
All of them. Almost most of them.
Theoretically, people might leave early and a half, I guess, but travel is dangerous, so...
That's fine then. Yeah, we'll just go for a couple of days searching for the vampire killer then.
Okay. In that case, where do you want to start?
With the neighbours who live next door on either side and opposite the house where the captain was found. Then after that, people the captain worked with.
Was it the sheriff?
Sheriff, yeah.
I mean, you can call it a captain if you want, it's your town.
Oh, Captain, my Captain.
Or
I mean, she's dead, Sophie.
Tough shit for her.
Oof. Let me just make a note that it's supposed to be captain.
the sheriff does feel a bit pretty wild.
Okay, so your little group heads on over to the old quarter. Oh man, I really like this map. Should really go back and actually do the fucking detailing on it though. It is still the very early evening. And we'll say that means people are, still up, still awake. You can see a fair number of the chimneys around here blaring smoke as everyone's cooking their evening meals. Who did you want to start with, Ollie? And or anyone else?
Has the crime scene been cleaned up?
I don't think the prince gave any explicit orders. So
No, I haven't.
Maybe we should have that done so we don't cause a panic amongst the mortals.
Yeah, we can do that.
Oh wait, no, the door was busted in. So yeah, it's probably been cleaned up at this point. People would have found the bodies. Because in the day between.
Okay. Yeah, let's start with the neighbours, I guess, then.
Yeah.
Okay. You knock on one of the houses nearby. There's a sort of brief shuffling from inside. And then a rather elderly man opens the door, peering at you. Can I help you?
Hello, sir. How are you this evening?
Same as every evening in the winter. Tired, croaky. Squints at you. You seem... Oh, I didn't realize I was speaking to nobility.
Yes, you are. Very well done, sir.
I love the condescension right there.
Sorry, my lords, my lady. Pointedly ignoring Hobo Zoya. Kamala looks very sophisticated. Zoya looks like she's probably a serf, or I guess carrot.
Looks like one of the boulders on the outside of the city limits.
How can I help you?
You're leading this thing, Ferdinand.
Yeah, Ferdinand.
I thought Sophie was going to continue talking.
I was just saying hi.
Oh, okay. In which case, I gently step in front.
I'm like introducing my mentor. You know,
I come forward and I sort of do a small bow and extend my hand to shake.
he's the prince, you know. Can we come in?
Looks a bit young to be the prince. A bit old. No. How old's...
It's alright, you're confused, old man. You're fine, it's fine. It
I
happens.
can assure you he's the prince. Now let us in.
Yes, please, my lords. And he just sort of backs up and goes over to the grate in his little hovel, picks out a slowly rising loaf of bread. It's not quite ready yet, but you're more than welcome to share in.
No.
Cooking it. Yes.
You keep the bread. You keep the bread. We shan't be eating it. We'll be along shortly.
Thank you, my lords. Puts it back in his little hearth. What's all this about? He seems a tad trepidatious.
I explained that there was a break-in last night on the house next door to you.
Yes, the murders.
Yes, we were wondering if you had any information on it.
Oh, no more than anyone else, really. They found the... God, what's a good Bosnian second name?
LeFou.
LeFou. Hold a sec. The bishops of Bosnia.
Read.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm not Bosnian.
Could have fooled me.
They found the last Vakiks lying side by side, stabbed right through.
Yes, it's the most terrible tragedy what happened to them.
God.
Has anyone else asked you? Has anyone knocked on your door asking the same questions we have?
No. The king's men came through. The Baron's men came through, but just to take the bodies away and bury them. Oh, lovely old couple. Bit pretentious, but sometimes people get ideas above their station.
That they do.
He seems just a tad unsettled by Rasvan's strange enthusiasm.
I'm fucking hype. Someone let me in willingly. Benamina has taught me that you should ask. It's very polite.
Oh,
So I'm very excited about the prospect that this mortal has just let me into their fucking house.
you've got Zamisi manners then. That's
Yeah, I got some meaty manners.
a nice twist. I like it. Does that include the gift giving thing and the 3 nights
No.
and 3 days?
No, I'm too upper class for that, I'm sorry.
You're so upper class you cycled all the way back round
Yeah,
through
I was
manners.
going to say,
Up and now.
but no,
Yeah.
that's fair. It's not like it's clan culture for you, so you don't have to do it. I mean, you don't even have to do it. I mean, it's not like Vecmamina did it much. She murdered her sire, but yeah.
Dick.
He was a dick. So, yeah, the old man sort of squints at you through his blurry eyes. They seem rather filmy with age. and you don't expect his sight will last that long. Will there be anything else, my lords? Lady?
Alert the city guard if anyone asks you strange questions or comes to visit you in the next few days.
City guard is a D&D term, I'm afraid. There is no such institution.
The soldiers? City soldiers?
So, you know how the feudal system works with people getting called up, right?
No, not really.
Okay, so the idea is like, I suppose they're burghers here. But basically everyone owes their landlord, to an extent, a certain amount of military service, like really doing a very broad version of this. And a lot of that would be spent on like, we're going to take that for guard duty for XYZ. And then only the upper class people would be professional soldiers, which is what you were. You were like a wandering knight. But you would have been the bottom rung of professional soldiers, not including mercenaries, I guess.
Now look at me, Mum. I'm running my own city.
Yeah. But the only reason that the King's men the Baron's men were entitled to do this is because there's a coronation going on, so he's got a lot of people called up for guard duty service. But he's called in people so that he can look important and cool. But generally this would be a thing for the church, I think. But
okay, yeah, go tell the church, and they shall relay it back to me. If anyone approaches asking strange questions or inquiring, like I have.
Oh, no strange questions. Heard a strange noise night before last, but in retrospect, I think that was probably the murderer.
What was the strange noise? What did it sound like?
It was a door getting smashed in.
Did you hear footsteps?
Yes. They started maybe 10 seconds beforehand. Perhaps someone got a running start, or otherwise was creeping along through the alleys. Oh, I've just noticed we've gone past time.
Yeah.
I say we continue until the mystery is solved.
It's a bold strategy. Cool, so we'll leave it there for this week. Reminders for next sessions. Does anyone have anything?
The old man.
The old man and the footsteps and the door breaking noise and...
The old man and the footsteps either sound like a great indie band or a title of a book.
I think I'd listen to the indie band. I'm not sure I'd read that book.
Have you ever read, it sounds similar to like the 100-year-old man who got out of a window and walked away, or whatever that one was called. Similar to along those lines.
I guess it depends what genre of book it was.
Yeah.
Because I like my murder mystery books.
Reminders for next week. Do we have any more?
Yeah, also go check out the house opposite.
The house opposite the murder scene. I'm probably going to put down incipient coup, ?
Yeah.
Anything else?
No. Actually, one thing. Reminder for me to ask Kamala to get information on what the top tier vampires here enjoy in terms of like their pursuits.
Ferdinand wants to ask Kamala about what the vampiric elite in town probably like. What is the youth up to these days? I mean, I guess not youth, but oh dear.
What do you enjoy?
Any other reminders for anyone?
No.
Oh, cool. Yeah, seems like we're on track somehow. Feedback. Anything you liked, anything you disliked, anything you'd like to see more of or less of next time.
I like throwing my illusions around. I get to stretch my powers again.
It's fun. I think on the feedback front, I'd definitely like to small hand for Ollie being a good sport for a series of devastating blows.
Yeah, absolutely. I am giving you a clap, Walt.
Casual check-in to make sure that you're still having fun, Ollie, and that you know you can ask people to tone it down if you feel like they're getting a bit mean.
I mean, it was fine.
Okay.
It's fine. I just hate's a strong word. Just strongly dislike everyone right now.
I think that's totally valid though, and personally, I'm actually really enjoying the like low key betrayal here of everyone's kind of vaguely either deliberately scheming to betray Ferdinand or just not helping him, and Ferdinand's very committed to using people for all they're worth, but not allowing them to betray him, which is good princely dynamics, and it's super fun to see that in a player character rather than an NPC.
I think,
to be fair, Kamala has been trying to help. He's just been making it incredibly difficult to do so and want to continue doing so.
Road of Chivalry. What were you going to say, Ollie?
It's fine. Like, it's quite funny that, I started the first 2 sessions all high and mighty with my fucking city and all my everything, and then it's brought down by one bad party. I don't know. It's fun. It is what it is, isn't it?
You're getting in many ways the quintessential elder experience, right? Because from the outside they always look powerful and terrifying, like, oh god, he could snap your neck in an instant. But on the inside, like, their road rating is low. They're one bad quip from a toady away from frenzy if they're not careful. And everyone's low-key looking to dick them over in exchange for power. Even people who still quite like them, but not more than what they can get out of fucking them over. So this... it's kind of a very core experience, which I quite like.
That's good. On what you're saying about seeing more of or less of next time, I feel like I've probably dominated the last couple of sessions, the last 2 sessions I would have thought. So I'm happy to take more of a backseat the next couple of sessions. Well, the next session, I suppose.
That's okay. I'm still trying to figure out how best to actually play Kamala. So far, it hasn't gone how I intended for her to go.
Oh, really? How are you thinking she'd go?
I mean, I know her clan is much more of a behind-the-scenes thing, but I wasn't intending for her to be kind of the doormat that she's ended up being for the first couple of sessions.
I mean, personally, I don't think your character's come across as a doormat to me. You've come across as a facilitator. You've not come across as like a pushover or anything. Like, I think Ferdinand as a character knows full well that he can't push you to do something you don't want to necessarily do. You're doing, and assumes you're doing what you're doing out of, it's a power play for you at the end of the day.
Yeah, I've not personally seen you as a doormat. You're kind of that fish that gets the parasite that completely replaces its tongue.
Yeah, I know that.
Not personally, not on a first name basis.
No, you know the one I'm talking about. It feels like that's kind of what you've done with Ferdinand. You have replaced elements of his administration, and he knows you've done it, but he also kind of can't work without you now because you are the things you replaced. So he's not necessarily...
Well, additionally, there's always something like Ferdinand was aware of this essentially straight from the beginning. He's let it happen. He's fine with that. Running an entire city is exhausting.
And also, you're not very good at it.
Mm, exactly.
But the art of leadership is delegation, you know? Look at what happened when you didn't delegate the party.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it kind of stems from a little bit that almost the first... It feels like the first kind of really positive reaction I've had from Ferdinand when I've been trying to do things has literally been just now when he was paying me a compliment underground, which is why it just felt a little bit unsatisfying, which might just be because I didn't exactly think it all the way through when I was planning it.
That's fair. Mm-hmm. And I mean, it can take a while to find how you gel with a character as well. So it's okay to need time to fit, and also, as ever, the option is open to Schlorp, so if you decide that Kamala's really just not working out the way you'd hope she would, we can switch her out with someone. We could have that be Reckmeyer if you prefer to have him back, or we could have you get someone else. It's whatever works for you.
I mean, I think Reckmeyer's kind of run his course for me. He filled a little niche that was entertaining at the time, but I've kind of overkilled it a little bit with Rekmire and then Azimino as well.
I mean, also pretty fair.
Which is why I'm trying to explore different kind of characters, which is why I wanted to give this one a go. Maybe I just need to give it a little bit longer to kind of settle in properly.
If you want, dude, just tell me how you expected Ferdinand to be more with your character, and I
honestly didn't expect him to just completely see through it up front. is honestly the whole thing. I honestly didn't expect for him to just go, "Oh, you're deliberately going to just shadow puppet me." Okay, then.
I guess it's because...
That's probably my own naivety with the setting, though, because I'm obviously not expressly familiar with it.
So it is definitely slightly the setting. It's also kind of the actions of last campaign. Ferdinand's general experience of people he knows is that they will use him. That's what his friends have done to him historically, so that's kind of what he assumes in other people. If he was a totally new character, I probably would have made it more of a like, no, you need to look into this or roll for this. But under the circumstances, it was not an unfair thing for him just to assume it. I think he's still technically even just assuming it. The thing is, it's an assumption that's arguably entirely correct, but is also very in line with his life experiences, or unlife experiences.
Yeah, and that's totally fair. It's just not something that I took into consideration. Maybe I just need to think about playing it as the long game.
God, actually, even his life experiences, because the defining thing of his life was he was a crusader in the Fourth Crusade, which was used by the Venetians / the Byzantines / wealthy Latin magnates, and just he has at almost every point of his entire life been used and abused for his fighting skills by everyone around him. You were one more in a long parade of everyone he's ever met.
Yeah, that's totally fair. It's just not something that I considered.
That's fair.
Maybe I just have to play a much longer game.
Start being Rasvan.
You could try and build up that trust over 200 years, and then smack it down just when they've grown completely.
Then insert Rasvan instead.
Well, I mean, it's also pretty fair as a political manipulator to be of the opinion that this person knows too much. They're too hard to manipulate. You need someone easier, either dumber or less jaded, or just more gullible. Everyone stopped looking at Sophie every time I said every one of those words. It's just mean.
Such bullshit.
There are NPCs as well. It doesn't have to be Rasvan.
Yeah, but it's going to be Rasvan.
It's going to be Rasvan. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I am actually genuinely considering trying to actually get that coup to happen.
Well, I mean, it's the course we can go down, assuming Ollie's okay with it as well.
I'm not just going to do it without talking to you about it first, but it would be fucking funny to do.
A coup doesn't have to end in your death, for the record, either. If you want Ferdinand to live on, you can always, fucking run.
I mean, right now, my idea is I want to maintain control of the city, so I am gonna try and do that. Maintain control.
Oh, yes, totally. You wouldn't want to be cooed. Right, so we'll spin on to the next section. Final note, though. If Rasvan does become Prince of the City at the end somehow, that means that the ultimate victor of Chronicle number 1 would it be Veclamina?
Oh, I got a little semi from that.
Oh dear. The Baker.
There are 3 sentences I wanted to say there. They're all wrestling with each other. They all have their pros and their cons.
So, narrative. Any narrative questions for that session? Anyone unsure about what's happening? Is everyone following the plot?
If all vampires could just, barreled blood a little bit more, they could stop being such big old pussies about it.
No, I think I'm good on the plot.
Cool.
Yeah, I got the plot.
I mean, to be fair, there wasn't a huge amount of plot in that session.
I don't know, the diplomatic crisis is hotting up. It wasn't really meant to be a diplomatic crisis, just more of a backdrop, but this is part of the plot now.
This is a fairly common theme in every session. There wasn't meant to be X happening from this fairly minor background event, but now somehow you've made it the foreground event.
I mean, that's pen and papers in general, I think. It's quite nice that this is you've intensified a diplomatic incident rather than, you named the horse Fluffles and now he's a main character.
Fluffles.
It wasn't a horse. It was an elephant,
His name's not Fluffles.
and his name is Sikorko.
Which translated to English is squishy.
And his name is Squishy.
And he shall be mine, and he shall be my squishy.
There are many squishies. How's that saying go? There are many squishies, but there are no squishies like mine. Or, there's.
This is my Squishy. There are many like it, but this one is mine.
That's it. Yeah.
Okay, so XP. Plot progression. Does anyone feel like you made significant plot progression this session?
Well, apparently, yes. Just not in the main plot.
Yeah, I was going to say, side quests, yes. Main plot, not really.
Accidental plots.
Spawned. Yeah, alright, that's fair, I would say. Character development.
What you doesn't see is we've actually just created the perfect system to gain XP, create our own side plots, then advance further.
Character development. Yes, you
roll.
truly have gained the
Brain
system.
time.
Character development. Does anyone feel like they developed their character this session?
I think all of us did in some way.
Yeah. If so, how?
Yeah, no, after you, Ollie.
Oh, no, you go first, man. Honestly, you go first.
Okay, well, despite everything I was just saying, I actually had a better time with Kamala this session than the previous one. And I think it might be starting to come together. Maybe a little bit, not a huge amount though. But she's definitely advancing a little bit and gaining a more complete view of the prince that she's currently serving.
That's fair.
And the other vampires around her. And her status within them.
Cool.
Because although I don't really have any points in status, I have one in influence. It does seem that that a lot of the other vampires were looking up to me at least a little bit, if only just because of my connection with Ferdinand.
Yes, you were sort of slowly chipping away at that, like, I'm in the regime, I'm not part of the regime.
Yeah. And that's definitely something that fits with Kamala as much as I would expect anything to, because her goal is to rule from the shadows.
Glad to hear it. Any other character development for people?
I think Rasvan definitely did.
Yes, Rasvan definitely did. Because not only have we discovered that his beast has a flight response, not a fight response, he also took the opportunity to go, oh, he's my bestie, but I'm still going to spill the tea on him anyway, because tea.
Yeah. The most two-faced one here, arguably, at this point.
I didn't know how I was going to play Rasvan, but I'm really enjoying him.
I quite
and
like
he learned a new
Rasvan.
thing about his new friend Zoya.
Rasvan, the casual sociopath.
Yeah, pretty much.
If you change the name there, it still works.
No, it's beautiful. You've got Ferdinand trying to be a good person. Meanwhile, Rasvan, Lel, did you start with all these knives in your back? I wonder how many I can fit. Any other character development for anyone?
I don't know if it was development, but I definitely feel like this session definitely fits Zoya pretty fucking well.
Yeah, Zoya.
Everything she's done was entirely on point, so I guess that fits under role-playing as opposed to development.
But Zoya's first in-character laugh in like 4 years.
Oh, that's really sad.
She had a good time messing things up. It wasn't quite how she pictured things would go, but it was a pretty epic result, so she's happy.
Aw, Zoya. Okay, cool. I'll read out in a sec. Ollie, were you going to say something there?
I don't know if what Ferdinand did counts as progression, more like regression.
I would say, points for trying to stick to your guns and learn to be a stern ruler within the ethical framework you've set yourself. It's a really fun thing to see you, doing your best to try not to be a dick, whilst surrounded by dicks who are committed to being dicks and think you're a dick for not letting them be dicks. It's
true.
You're trying to be a nice guy in a room filled with assholes. But also, all of you are at least part tiger. And that is a very difficult endeavour.
that speech from Team America.
I've never actually seen Team America, I'm afraid. Cool. Excellence of roleplay. Does anyone feel like anyone else roleplayed particularly well this session?
I gotta give points to Allwall.
Yeah.
I really have to give points to Allwall for that.
I mean, I've got to give credit to all three of you, to be honest.
Specifically on the Ferdinand front?
I mean, like, his everything. His response to, coming back in and seeing his party having been hijacked, his response to first my illusions, and then my smacking him on the back of his head, and then his attempts to salvage afterwards.
Oh.
Yeah, it was good.
Yep.
Ferdinand, true protagonist. Anyone else?
Zoya, and Nikki definitely gets credit for Zoya because everything that she did was just 100% on point for Zoya. Walking and going, oh, look, shadow puppets and illusions and stories, let's enhance it. And then when Ferdinand said her clan name wrong, she just fucking humiliated him for it. Is 100% on point.
I also really enjoyed the illusion as well. The being ragdolled around like when Hulk grabbed Loki, but also
Yeah.
the way I stop this, Moss.
Yeah, and completely dealing with Ferdinand's frenzy in the most appropriate and best Zoya way while still being incredibly effective at doing it.
Beautiful.
And points to Rasvan for going, oh fuck, a hydra, run away! And then as soon as he found out it was an illusion, being like, really? That's so cool, can you teach me to do that?
He actually frenzied when he saw the hydra, so he wouldn't have got words out, I'm afraid. It would have been like
Yeah, I mean, like,
screech
afterwards when we told him that it was the illusion.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
I thought Kamala just being like, oh fuck, not again. And just shepherding everyone out. And just the whole, like quiet, exasperated, air getting up the entire time. And then the backstabbing that happened in the back room.
I mean, from Kamala's point of view, basically that entire session was just a big, long sigh of despair.
You really personified that sigh.
It did come across.
Kamala was not impressed the entire time.
Okay, in that case, I make that out to be 7 experience points for session number 30. That's not correct. 33. That is 1 point for plot progression, spawning a diplomatic crisis. Because we're incentivizing that now, apparently.
Hooray! Diplomatic crises! Let's have one every week.
Jesus Christ. It's only a week-long chronicle. 3 points, character development. Kamala is starting to find her place as power behind the throne. Rasvan is a casual sociopath. Zoya is starting to learn to unlive again. Ferdinand continues to stick to his guns. 3 points for excellence of roleplay, which I failed to write down, so I never sent myself a fucking template. That's Ferdinand's decorum and maturity in the face of adversity / douchebags. Zoya can't resist illusion contest. Sorry, I think I got the gist of it, John. Zoya deals with Ferdinand's...
That's totally accurate.
Zoya deals with Ferdinand's frenzy zoyality. Zoyally? That's not how I should have spelled that. Rasvan is an enthusiastic coward. Kamala's quiet desperation. And Kamala's backstabbing.
Don't forget Rasvan's backstabbing.
Yeah,
I think he needs credit for that as well.
Rasvan.
I really don't know what you guys are talking about. I would never do such a thing.
Just fucking making up a rumour out of absolutely nowhere.
Doesn't sound like me at
That
all.
was truthful. It is a genuine thing about Ferdinand. Apparently.
Did you know that, Ollie?
Say again, sorry.
Did you know that was a truthful thing about Ferdinand?
I didn't hear what the truthful thing was. Sorry.
The toes thing.
Oh, it's don't show, don't tell.
Yeah.
Don't tell.
To be fair, vampires get into really weird shit anyway. It's just toe sucking. Yeah.
I feel like if there was a fetish Ferdinand would have, it would be something related to war. Maybe dressing up as
Are you fucking kidding me? It's definitely something to do with architecture.
I imagine it's probably someone dressing up as someone from Constantinople, and then someone else dressing up as a real nice pillar,
Fucking
and just
Zoya.
No, he
gets
likes
into-
all his sexual encounters to be in a really beautifully constructed dungeon.
We went to really different places there. I was thinking like a model of Constantinople, but there's a hole in the side of it.
I'm going to show you my...
I don't think Zoya would ever forgive you.
Brings a whole different meaning to glory hole.
Oh,
So now that means it's time for everyone's favourite part of the session. It's the highlights.
Ferdinand's glory hole of Constantinople.
Oh, damn.
It wasn't even part of the fucking
No,
session. But that counts to me.
I'm going to flood it with millions of staunches.
Dear Lord.
It's fine, you can just listen to the recording and be horrified then.
Glory hole. Sophie, do you have any highlights for that session?
Yeah, and it's stealing Nikki's thunder.
Causing two people to frenzy in like the first 20 minutes for different reasons, and almost fucking everything up just for the sheer fucking lulz of it all.
Well done, Nikki. That's awesome. Mate.
It's the most chaotic Nikki I've ever seen.
Don't forget, I almost frenzied myself.
Why not?
I like that I'm the only person that didn't have to roll a frenzy check in that session.
That's a pretty impressive list of people who got friends. Like, 3 out of 4 people.
Well, I mean, frenzies are like tantrum spirals, you know? They feed off of each other. One person frenzying can often mean other people frenzy.
I'm just happy I managed to make sure the entirety of the room didn't frenzy.
I made sure of that.
I did the roll. I think, yeah.
Oh, yeah, no, you did the roll. I did it in character.
Hydra initially, but then, so you're both correct. The Hydra initially, Ollie did roll for, but then Kamala got them out of the room before people.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
What if he kills
Okay,
us?
fair. Yeah, fair.
Any other highlights, Sophie?
No, I'm good, thanks.
Okay. Nikki, do you have any highlights for that session?
I like the fact that I managed to bring Ferdinand back down off his frenzy by giving him a really pretty palace to look at.
Zoya, de-frenzies Ferdinand with pretty architecture. Cool. Anything else?
Kamala's general exasperation.
It's just done. Walking into the sun, fingers upraised.
Yeah.
Trek ain't got nothing on how disappointing you are.
2 middle fingers up at the world in general. Just
I mean, yeah, I was close to doing that as well, just so I could roll a new character.
Ooh. Ooh. Coming in strong with that ghoul sidekick next time. Wake up in the day, just open all the coffins. This is how the party dies. Any other highlights, Nikki?
no, I think that's it.
Cool.
For me, anyway.
John, do you have any highlights for that session?
Yes, Rasvan just completely betraying Ferdinand.
I don't know what you're talking about. I definitely wasn't betraying Ferdinand.
And the reaction of the other vampires to Rasvan's stories about Ferdinand and how much they like him better than Ferdinand. It's just funny.
I really don't know what you're talking about. I didn't do anything like that. I would never do something like that.
Vampire community wants Prince Rasvan. Any other highlights, John?
We covered the frenzies. Did we cover the illusion?
Yes.
The Hydra? Okay.
Oh, I don't think we've had the Hydra. Return of the
Return of the Hydra.
Anything else?
I think that's everything at the moment.
Okay. Ollie, do you have any highlights for that session?
Just the never-ending stream. Shit.
I'm sorry.
The never-ending stream of shits. just the bad rolls now.
You
One after the other, stacked up into me losing a party, and then losing my cool, and then gaining my cool. But, by that point, it all felt very story appropriate, and I did enjoy it. And the same, it was fun. Just so much in that session. I kind of liked the fact I managed to get an apology out at the end, and casually threaten some people, which I'm good at.
If it makes you feel better, Zoya is likely gonna help you with her illusions next time, because she's kind of one of those people that takes one look at a situation and goes, what can I do to make this more chaotic? So, if you want her illusions for something chaosy, then go for it.
I imagine at some point we're probably going to need it. Other highlights were just... I kind of just liked how the party was. Not Ferdinand liked how the party was. I just liked the dynamic, I think. The backstabbing, rage-inducing dynamic. And the constant fact that Ferdinand always hopes he's never going to be let down. But once again, tiny little part of his soul that he didn't think could die anymore did.
I keep typing Ferdinand.
Yeah, Ferdinand. Petition to change his name officially.
No, we're not having a cat flop situation here.
Beautiful.
Nick couldn't think up of a name for his character in time in the Elder Scrolls session we're doing, and so Ewan asked around for names, and I shot up with Cat Clop because he's a giant horse-sized cat. And then immediately after, it was like, no, Do Wimbar, and now we just keep calling him Cat Clop so much he's just accepted it.
Amazing.
Well, that's just very young Nick, though, isn't it?
It is.
In-universe justification is that he can't speak Imperial. He can only speak in strange cat language, even though he understands Imperial. So he insists his name is Do Wimbar, but his translator, who's played by Carl, refers to him as Catclop. So everyone else keeps calling him Catclop.
So he's cat.
I wouldn't usually be that mean, but he always does this with characters. But I will say that not coming to a session with the name for a character is a new low for him. But he usually does Dark Heresy characters. You'll ask him, "Oh yeah, so what homeworld? Where's your homeworld?" And then he'll salmon stare at you for 20 minutes trying to work it out. And you go, "Mate, you must have picked one. It's part of character generation. How have you got this far?" I love him, but. So, any other highlights, Ollie?
I think that's me.
Okay, in that case, I think I've maybe only got one or two more. So Zoya tried to help, and Rasvan getting weird with the old man at the end. I don't even know what was happening there. Rasvan's just very enthusiastic about being invited into people's homes.
I mean,
he's very enthusiastic about everything.
He has a 0 in appearance. He's probably not used to being welcome anywhere.
It's very true.
Someone let me in. It was nice.
Your mama's so ugly, you aren't accepted into society.
Jesus.
Fucking hell, you're not wrong, but fuck.
Toreador flex much? What's Ferdinand's appearance at?
I don't even know.
Appearance 4. Ferdinand is a sexy man.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Compared to Zoya's on 2, so Zoya's a bit plain or underwhelming.
Kamala's
is also on 2, yeah. So really, Ferdinand's the only real looker in the party.
Why do you think I keep you all around? When you're next to me, you make me look even hotter than I already am.
Even though there's 3 of you, Ferdinand has as much appearance as all the rest of you added together.
I mean, that's not fair. Rasvan has a 0.
All the rest of you added together. Okay, cool. Thank you all
I
for
like to think I
very
get a
entertaining,
multiplier bonus.
very entertaining session number 33. Does anyone have any final words for the recording?
Dick butt.